Welcome back to episode 275 of the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast.
Yo, lace up the skates, grab your mic and your pack. Hockey Cards Gongshow, yeah, we're bringing it back. Hall of Famers, rookies, we got all the stacks. Cards flying off the shelf like slap shots from the back. Louis, Josh, Phil, bringing heat on the mic. Breaking hobby news, every rookie we like. Macklin, Celebrini to Gretzky, fresh and bold. We're ripping packs open, watching treasures unfold. From young guns to autos, we talking high stakes. Hop aboard the Gong Show, no pumping the brakes. So grab your card sleeves, join the Hall of Fame flow. You're rocking right now with the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Hockey Cards Gong Show.
What up, boys?
That's it.
How are we?
That was
back.
fast.
Yeah.
You cut it off so quick for? Somebody might
It was
complain
short. I
that
made
you
it
made
short.
them listen to the song.
No, that's how long it was.
Oh,
Made it short.
all right.
The short one.
It's a shorty.
It was pretty
Hey,
good.
shorty.
It was good. I liked it. What's up,
Wow.
Shorty?
Yeah.
What's up?
Hey, shorty. All right. What's up?
What's up?
Hell, you're not high energy. What's going on? You have tum-tum issues?
I'm mushy energy. I'm cookie dough energy. I did yoga last night with my
Mhm.
girlfriend, and then we went out for dinner. And then she reminded me that she made me 30 home cooked, humongous chocolate chip cookies. And then I got home and I colored a little too much. And then I went down to the fridge in my boxer shorts at like 2 a.m. and I ate the whole bag. And
What do you said you colored too much?
ate
You went and ate the bag of crayons?
No, you
no,
don't.
not the crayons. It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor. I was dancing on clouds, Louis. I'm not a big beer guy, right?
You ate all the cookie
I'm
dough?
still old school, right? Anyways,
You ate
And-
30 cookies?
well, 29 and a half. Like for some, I think the last one just mushed
Sorry.
in my hand. Yeah. And that's not the worst part. Cole's mom popped over today. Hasselhoff's
Yeah?
mom, and she ran upstairs. She's like, "What kind of animal are you?" And she found the bag in my floor. Like, I don't need that judgment from
Wait,
her.
on your floor? So there was evidence? There was a crime scene? From
Well, I didn't
you
clean
eating
it up.
Again?
I'm not feeling well. I didn't clean up today. I'm rough today. I didn't shower. I look at my head. I didn't even shave my head. I'm budding like a chia pet. It's horrible.
Where did you eat? You ate them in bed, I assume. Right?
Obviously, yeah. I was watching Volcano with Tommy Lee Jones. It's so bad, but I love it. Yeah, I love those bad 90s movies. That's good.
Wow, 30,
29 and a half.
29 and a
Yeah,
half.
I
cookies.
almost puked when I woke up. It was like
Soon.
5:30. No, it's one of the first. One time I ate too much chicken when I was like 20 and I almost puked, and then now this would be the second time. Yeah, it was horrible. I think I'm off chocolate boys for a while. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I don't know why I'm not gaining weight. I don't know what's going on. I don't
Wow.
know.
Yeah, that's I'm glad you didn't go into like some sort of like diabetic coma or something like that. Holy
It was
moly.
horrible. It was a horrible morning. I took 4 Advil. I drank half the thing of Pepto-Bismol.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't good, man. I need vegetables. You know when you just like, I need vegetables. I need a salad.
Never
what I
said
felt
that in
like.
my life.
Yeah. No?
Oh,
Either
wow.
way.
Okay. Well,
Thanks
I'm
for
glad
asking,
you're
Josh.
feeling better. It seems like it's very self-inflicted. But
Yeah.
how many cookies did you eat last night, Louis?
None.
Oh, okay.
I got
I'm
up at
still-
2 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
to go into work at 3 a.m. for this snowstorm that was coming.
We
And
had
I
a snow
sat-
warning.
Oh, it was a winter weather warning.
Just
And
scream.
didn't see one flurry till I left at 11:30. And then
There was a flurry because I don't even see like a flake on the ground.
no, I just said I didn't even see a flurry.
Oh, okay.
I saw
Yeah.
the back of my eyelids for 3 hours, but ooh,
Yeah.
can I say that?
Well, you can say anything you want. Should you? No, that's a whole other thing. But okay. You want to get to some sort of correction? Did somebody like hurt you in the feels in the comments or something? What happened?
What's going on?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, we're gonna do a little correction / history lesson about the Rocket Richard Trophy winners. So I did get a comment, and I wanted to clear it up. The comment was, I just wanted to chime in and say that several players have won the Rocket Richard more than twice. Lately, Matthews with 3, for example. Gretzky 5 times, Solani 3, Lemieux won 3, Bure won 3, Esposito won 6, and Bobby Hall won 7, and so on. So
Mm-hmm.
we're going to pump the brakes here real quick. Now, I will admit, I missed off Austin Matthews last year. He has 3, not 2 like I stated. But
Okay.
this is where the history lesson comes in. Okay? So, give me 1 second. So, it's the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy is the newest of NHL's individual trophies. Appropriately, the award is presented annually to the goal-scoring leader during the regular season. The trophy was donated by the Montreal Canadiens to the NHL in 1998-99, so the end of the 99 season, to honor their outstanding star ambassador, Maurice Rocket Richard.
Yep.
Richard spent his entire 18-season career with the Canadiens. He led the NHL in goal scoring on 5 occasions. In 1944-45, if you didn't know, Richard became the first NHL player to collect 50 goals in 50 games. So,
Funny how they worded that collect, right? It's like, was he like a
used.
hobbyist? It's like, oh, I
They
added
collected.
the 50th goal.
So, stat time. The first winner of the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy was Teemu Selanne of the Ducks. Well,
Yeah.
we should say the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim for 1998-99. That's the first year the trophy was available. There have been multiple winners. Ovechkin has 9. Corrected myself. Matthews has 3. Bure has 2. Crosby 2. Iginla 2. Stamkos 2. Maybe 1 or 2 more with 2, and some others with 1. Now, if the Rocket Richard Trophy was donated to the NHL prior to the 98-99 season, there would have been a plethora of players that would have received the trophy. And here's some that would have won it more than 2 times. Bobby Hall was 7, Esposito 6, Gretzky 5, Brett Hull 3, Mario Lemieux 3, Solani would have had 3, not just the real 1. Bossy would have had 2 also. Now, prior to that, you would have been able to win not the Art Ross, points leader. Help me.
Oh, okay.
That's the trophy you would have ended up with, because there was no Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy prior to 1998-99 season.
That was very thorough.
Yeah.
Good lesson there. If we spent that much time correcting every mistake we made on this show, we would have about a 14-hour show. So, yeah. So I guess those guys would have won it had it existed. What can we donate to the NHL that they give to the players besides? And none of your diseases, Phil. That doesn't count.
Oh yeah.
Wait, come on, man! I told you those in private. What are you talking about? You're such a jerk.
Hey,
what were you asking?
I did say Art Ross, right?
I don't know what you asked the question at the end. What award is?
I was just making sure. So, like Lemieux, Hall, Gretzky, Esposito, if those guys led the league assists and goals,
Art Ross,
the
Art
trophy
Ross,
the trophy available to them was the Art Ross Trophy.
Correct.
Okay.
So there, I will never go that in depth again.
There,
but
it's good to know, and occasionally we are right, so that proves that. So for the first time, we were right about something. Well, half right, because you did
you guys see my blunder on Instagram where I'm like, yeah, I got a card from Czechoslovakia.
Oh yeah, I heard a lot about it. About that Czechoslovakia doesn't exist.
And I love geography. I'm very well rehearsed with my. I don't know. I just maybe.
How many provinces are in Canada, Phil?
Yeah, I know exactly. Oh man, it's brutal. And then I said Czech Republic. It's not even Czech Republic. It's Czechia.
Okay. Well, the third time.
Do I need to? Do I need to make a slide for you with a map?
No. My excitement overpowers all intelligence. Usually, that's my problem.
It happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of you and Czechia, what's going on Friday night? Tomorrow night? Friday nights with Phil.
I have a really cool guest
from Czechia.
That's really funny. No, he's from Canada. He is our cardophilium expert, and he's going to come on the show. and talk to us about our, I don't know, infamous, legendary, whatever word you want to use, of cardophilium. So I also told him to bring some old other vintage cards. He said no problem, so that'll be good. We're gonna have we'll have Premier. Phil will buy a box, and the out of the box cards in Ottawa, who sponsors my Friday nights with Phil, will also give away a box. So I will be doing that, and I
That's
will
a
be
steep one. Is that going to be the steepest one yet?
No, ingrained was $4.99. Premier is $4.69. It's all bad. It's
all I really
I'd
care
rather
about.
Premier than ingrained, wouldn't you?
Oh
yes,
yeah,
of course, yes, I would.
All I really care about is Dave gonna be there?
California Dave will be there.
Okay.
California Dave's the new Sylvain, and then Sylvain will just kind of, I don't know.
I don't think Dave's going to be there, Phil. I think there's a hockey tournament in Las Vegas. I think he told you
that. That was last Friday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he even committed to it. Yeah. Or even if it's this Friday, I don't know, Louis. I think you're probably right, but even if you're not, no, Dave is resilient. He said he will do it through the hotel room.
Okay.
Yeah,
there we go.
In the hotel room. Yeah.
Just don't do it from one in Windsor.
Why, bad Wi-Fi or something?
That's the only time we never post an episode, and this is 275, and it would, but it's not 275 straight because
is that when I saw you in Montreal, Toronto, all frazzled?
No, you didn't see the least of it. Louis saw me have a complete meltdown.
Oh boy,
I was so mad.
He held you tight though.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
All right, we got a show to do here, boys.
I know, yeah. Just a really quick couple more things. HockeyChecklist.com update. If you're not using HockeyChecklist.com, well, you should, because it's at least 11.2% better than back end. Just little minor stuff on the back end. We have added some new checklists. I think somebody requested in Discord. I think it might have been California Dave. I added 24-25 Tim Hortons, so that's on there.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, and we're committed to the bit. And then 21-22 Fleer Ultra, one of my favorite, the E-Pack exclusive, our first E-Pack. That was fun, trying to figure out all the odds for everything. And then 23-24 O-Pee-Chee paper, the set that we all love and nobody can afford to buy. So that is on the checklist side as well. And lastly, before we start, a reminder that our show, this show, the one you're listening to or watching, the Hockey Cards Gongshow, is a Patreon podcast. That means we rely on the support of listeners like yourself to help us cover our show expenses, produce what we hope to be more and better hockey card content, and then free resources like our checklist site to help make the hobby hopefully a better place. You can support us for as little as $5 US a month and still be one of the first 299 supporters of our show. You get access to our Discord server, can participate there. We have still time to get in on the scavenger hunt. I think it starts right at the beginning of playoffs. So April 17th, win a box of Black Diamond. We do stuff like fantasy hockey. We've done the 5K challenge this year. We try to keep it fun and spicy there. To support our show, just go to our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com, click on the Become a Patron link at the top of the page, or go to the Patreon website directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. There's a link in the show description. On YouTube, if you're watching us there, listening on a podcast app, they're there too. And then finally in our Instagram and TikTok profiles, Louis. We have one new patron that we're very grateful for since our last show.
We are very grateful. I wanna make sure he gets his credit though. So give me 1 second here. I want to. Oh, did I? You know what? I'll get him again. But hey, Pfeiffer Pfeff, thanks, brother. I'll get you a pretty screen title next time.
Okay. Yeah, Pfeiffer Pfeff, thank you so much. We very, very much appreciate your support. All right, Baba Louie, you ready with the game plan, bud?
Yeah, I think I'm ready with the game plan. So we're going to start off with get to know your Hall of Famers. Then it's Hobby Deep Dive Sets Edition. Then we're going to move into some hobby news. After that, it's when hobby treasures just walk into your shop. We have a chat with Grant from GP Sports Cards. Then it's new product releases. And then some feedback from our fake comps little chat from the listeners and personal pickups.
Okay. Get to know your Hall of Famers. So we're continuing in our Get to Know Your Hall of Famers series where we're profiling every single Hockey Hall of Fame player, starting with the inaugural Hall of Fame class of 1945. And we've been in 1958, which I think is a big class, 15 players for a while now. We're still working our way through that. Where for each player we profile, we're taking a look at their life, hockey career, and hobby market. Today's Hall of Famer, I think we've all heard the name. So this one, but maybe
Oh.
you don't know much about him. King Clancy. You guys heard
Oh, nice.
Mhm.
Ottawa boy. That's great.
yeah.
Yeah, I know a
Yeah.
little bit about him.
Okay. Well, let's maybe learn a little bit more.
Okay.
So King Clancy was born February 25, 1903 in Ottawa, Ontario. You're right.
Good so far. You're correct.
Mhm. Passed away in November 10th, 1986 in Toronto. Ooh, left Ottawa for the enemy there. Now, he was only 5'7", weighed 155 pounds. So Francis was King Clancy is one of the hockey's true original larger-than-life characters. Known primarily as a defenseman, he was a fearless competitor, one of the most spirited players in NHL history. King Clancy's professional career spanned from 1921 until 1937. He played for two NHL teams, the Ottawa Senators, and then sought a better opportunity, I guess, in the Toronto Maple Leafs, Phil.
All right, settle down. And it's Francis Michael, I believe.
Okay, Francis Michael. As the King was from the nickname from his dad, who got it as a football player, I believe.
Rugby, not football. It's rugby.
Now he started his NHL journey in 1921 in his hometown, Ottawa Senators, and quickly established himself as an elite two-way player. In 1930, with one of the most talked about deals of its day, he was traded to the Toronto Maple Leafs for two players and a staggering, especially at the time, $35,000 cash, a record price for an NHL trade back then. Throughout his remarkable career, Clancy won 3 Stanley Cups in 1923 and 1927 with Phil's Ottawa Senators, and in 1932 with Phil's Toronto Maple Leafs. Scored 136 goals and 147 assists for 283 points in 592 NHL games. Exceptional numbers for a defenseman of his era. Served as captain of the Maple Leafs, where his leadership qualities were legendary both on and off the ice. And following his career, he coached, refereed, and held executive roles with Toronto, cementing his legacy as a true hockey lifer. Why should you care about King Clancy? King Clancy wasn't just a talented hockey player, he's one of hockey's original showmen, known for his fiery competitiveness and unforgettable personality. He became a fan favorite everywhere he went. He was known for his physical and daring style of play, often throwing himself fearlessly in front of opposing shots despite his small stature.
Oh, boy.
Here's one classic Clancy moment. In the 1923 Stanley Cup playoff game against the Edmonton Eskimos, the vaunted Eskimos, Ottawa's goalie, Clint Benedict, received a penalty. In those days, teams couldn't put another goalie on the ice. So Clancy volunteered to step into goal himself, wearing borrowed goalie pads that were way too big for a small frame. He kept Edmonton from scoring during Benedict's penalty, helping secure Ottawa's win. And then also during another particularly heated game, he got into a spirited argument with the referee who wasn't seeing things Clancy's way. Frustrated with the officiating, Clancy skated over to the referee, pulled out a pair of glasses he had secretly stashed in his equipment, and dramatically handed them over and suggested the referee might see the game better wearing them, a stunt that brought laughs from the crowd and a quick ejection from Clancy.
Well worth it.
They kicked him out for that?
I guess.
Oh, come
Who was
on.
the guy we had? Duke Keats knocked a ref out and didn't get punished. And Clancy. So, I mean, I guess how things changed, right, in the matter of a decade or so in the NHL. Wow. All right, looking at the King Clancy hobby market, his rookie card is in the 1923 Paterson. Is that Graham Paterson? Geez, V145 set. Now, the highest selling copy is this SGC 8 that sold for $10,800 US in May of 2022. Looks like he has like he looks like a robber in a black and white film. How dark his eyes are there. Another King Clancy Playing Days card is this 1924 Champs C144. Same photo. It's funny how they use the same photo over and over again. We're showing the highest selling copy of PSA 7 sold for $4,550 US in April 2021. Now, unlike other players we profiled where we had to rely on the Cardophilium set that Phil's so fond of, There's actually a lot of Playing Days King Clancy cards, so that's awesome. Just a couple more I'll highlight. He's got cards in all the 1933 sets, like this 33 O-Pee-Chee Series A, the very first O-Pee-Chee hockey card set. This one with the green background, PSA 8, sold for $4,051 US in April 2018. You like this set, right, Louis?
I love it.
Okay. Another one is a 1933 King Clancy. Oh, I didn't put a picture, but the Canadian Gum PSA 5. Did you find it or no?
No.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot the picture on that one. So there's 4 sets in 1933. I think he's in all of them.
Yeah. Canadian Gum's the one you could rip off the bottom, right?
The bottom, with the red kind of border.
Second favorite one.
None of these, though, are the highest selling King Clancy card. Kind of crazy. And the highest selling one is not a Playing Days card. It's a coach card. So this 1955 Parkhurst Quaker Oats King Clancy from when time he was the coach of the Maple Leafs, sold in October for $17,400 US.
He looks like Cosa Nostra in this picture. He looks like a wise guy.
I feel like he aged fast. Like if his career ended in 1930s. Well, wait, how old would he have been in 1955?
Oh, I can't wait for you to do this math.
I know. This is a math show. We know. So he was born in 1903. He would have been just 52
when he died.
No, in this photo.
Oh, that's crazy. He looks like 75 years old.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Look at the tie and the pocket square. He was fancy Clancy.
Yeah, it looks good, man. Dapper.
Well, boys, that's your Hockey Hall of Famer, King Clancy.
Good job, Josh.
Hey, so your 33,000. Where'd that go? $35,000 in 1930 would earn you a whopping $665,777 in 2025.
That's not even league minimum for the NHL.
Maybe it was a better deal than people thought. Let's move on to Hobby Deep Dive. We're going to look at another set today. We haven't done a sets deep dive in a few weeks, so excited to get back to it. Now, this is a segment where we present to you, the good listener, with 4 options of sets that might be fun to learn about. We head on over to Instagram and throw up a quick hobby poll. Right, Louis?
I'm still trying to figure out what's on the top of it.
Yeah. It's a mystery. Then we wait to see the results come in and which set we're going to do a deep dive this week. So we had 4 choices this week. 2008-09 Essential Credentials.
Yeah, we know, Josh, you have a Crosby Essential Credential. He's holding it up.
Stop it, Phil. It's like...
I had it on my watch list and you bought it.
Listen, I figure I can talk about this card about 13,000 times and I still won't have mentioned your Bedard clear cut.
Oh, you mean cool Essential Credentials like these ones?
You're both turds.
Oh, buddy.
That was yours, huh? Loser. Okay. So that was the first choice. 08-09 Essential Credentials. 2020 All-Time Future Watch. Ever heard of that? Ever heard of it? Heard of it? Yeah? No? Okay. 1995 Topps Finest Mystery Refractors.
So bad. I love them. I mean, bad as in good.
And then 2012 Panini Prizm. So of the 4, which one do you think you want to make?
Prizm's gonna win. Yeah,
I think so. Okay.
I voted for refractors.
Yeah, me too.
For refractors. Okay,
that's what I voted for.
Right.
I voted.
The results
the first
are
time
in.
I've ever voted.
You're both
ready to see him.
We love talking at the same time.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Hey, let's talk at the same time, Josh.
Okay.
Loves it. Yeah, we're good. All right, that's great.
All right, here we go. Here's how you guys voted. We, for the first time ever, in any poll we've ever done, we had a dead heat tie.
What do we do? Do we flip a coin?
Well, hang on. So, 8% for Essential Credentials. Boo. 38% for All-Time Future Watch Autos. 16% for Topps Finest Mystery Refractors. And
damn, so
38% for 2012 Panini Prizm. And not only was the percentage tied, the exact number of votes were tied. And so I decided just to pick one, and I'll do the next one next week. So.
You went dictator on us.
There's got to be like some advantage to that, right?
Okay, so are we gonna have a hobby poll to see what Josh picked? I'll go first. I think Josh picked All-Time Future Watch.
It's no wait. You have to go back. It's not an official hobby poll. You got to go back, Louis.
Oh,
can't
it's
say-
fine. Just
Well, no,
what'd you
say it
pick?
again.
You picked few. Okay, you picked Louis. Do you pick all-time future watch? Because we need a hobby poll, or I forget the other thing we're doing. What is it? Refractors?
I don't
No,
even know what
prisms.
we're doing.
Prisms.
What about them?
Prisms.
Survey
who?
says. What'd you pick, Josh?
Josh picked Panini Prizms.
I picked 2012 Panini Prizm because I just felt like it.
Hmm.
All right. We didn't. There wasn't time to. Oh, I got must my finger must have done a highlighter on the screen grab. You see that on the top?
I see that.
Yeah.
Ugly. Okay.
I would have thought you did future watch autos. Okay, Prism, cool. Let's find out.
Yeah. So we're gonna do 2012 Panini Prizm Hockey for this week's deep dive. It's the first of 2 Prizm hockey card sets that were ever produced. So they were produced in 2012-13 and then 2013-14 and never again. Because Panini lost the license. For 2012, Panini Prizm was not a standalone product. It was an insert set included in the 2012 Panini Rookie Anthology product that combined several popular Panini brands. So I think there's contenders, right? That it's all a mix of different cards. It's not just one. And Upper Deck doesn't do any sets like this. They do it a little bit, I guess. They put Exquisite in ice and stuff like that. But there's multiple different brands in Panini Rookie Anthology. There was no retail component for 2012-13. And in a 2012 Rookie Anthology hobby box, your Prizm cards came in a bonus pack where there was 3 Prizm cards in the pack. 2 were base and 1 was a parallel. Now, Prizm, if you're not familiar, because a much bigger card in basketball and football and baseball, I suppose, than hockey, is Panini's chromium finished card. So that's very equivalent to similar technology to O-Pee-Chee Platinum or Allure, and on the top side, Topps Chrome. There's now getting back to the 2012 Prizm set, there's 100 total cards on the base checklist. 52 are veterans, 48 are rookies. Key veterans include Teemu Selanne, Jerome McGinley, Patrick Kane, Johnny Toes, Jaromir Jagr, Pavel Datsyuk, Henrik Zetterberg, Carey Price, Henrik Lundqvist, Sidney Crosby, Flower, Marc-Andre Fleury, and Alexander Ovechkin. When you get to the rookies, slim pickings, right? I mean, I would probably Mark Stone and Chris Kreider are the 2. It was not a great hobby year for rookies. So when you look at this set, it's really about the veterans, and then it's the first Prizm cards for many notable names, with the 2 biggest being Crosby and Ovechkin. So going through the different sets and parallels, there's the base set, which looks like a standard Prizm card, right? Not much to say there. And then the other non-numbered parallel is, I think there's 2, but one of them is called the Rainbow. And so this would be equivalent to a silver Prizm. And I think that's one thing too, because at some point they must have rebranded it from Rainbow to silver. So if you're searching you want a card like this, you got to remember to search for Rainbow on it. Then there's numbered parallels. There's a red out of 50, a blue out of 25, and then the granddaddy, the sexiest one. The one that makes you feel better than 29.5 chocolate chip cookies.
Is it orange?
Is the gold out of 10.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the rookies also had a cracked ice parallel. But like I said, the rookies checklist is pretty ho-hum unless you have a PC guy. There is a cracked ice for vets, though. So you can get a Crosby cracked ice or an Ovechkin cracked ice. But these were not in the 2012 Rookie Anthology set. Panini that year did a special Father's Day packs. And so the cracked ice hockey cards were included in those.
And some of the PSA slabs say Father's Day on them, and some of them don't. That threw me for a big loop.
Yeah. Okay, well, good to know, right? So that's a little clue there. One of the weirder parts about this too is the only other card is there is an auto version, and I haven't seen this in many cases, but it's almost hard to explain. The checklist is different, and not just in different players, but they're all all these checklists are numbered like a base configuration, like 1 to 100, right? On the 52 vets and 48 rookies. Well, the autos parallel usually has the same numbering convention. So, for instance, number 1 in the base set is Timu Solani, and the red is number 1 for Timu, blue, and gold, right? That's card number 1. They did a whole different checklist for the autos. So, number 1 is Adam Henrique, and Timu has an auto, he's just a different number.
Oh, weird. Didn't know
Yeah,
that.
so I guess that's something to look out for maybe.
Yeah.
None of the autos are numbered, but there are short print and super short print. The short prints are thought to have print runs of 50 or less, and the super short prints are thought to have print runs of 15 or less.
Ooh.
Yeah, so let's get pretty tough. Now, because of the popularity of the Panini Prizm brand and the fact that hockey, was only produced for those 2 years and includes a pretty loaded checklist on the vet side, these cards tend to be pretty sought after and by collectors and valuable in the hobby. And I wish I could have remembered which episode of your Friday night show where you had Seth the
Like the
Panini.
first or second one.
Yeah, he gives a
Yeah,
master
right out
class
the
on
gate.
all of them. It's the
You and I
first. It's
feel
the
like-
first.
First.
It's the third Friday night with Phil because
Okay.
that's where you two abandoned me.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, so they tend to be pretty valuable. And so the last thing we'll do, like we always do in these deep dives, is look at the top 5 highest selling 2012 Panini Prizm hockey cards to date, along with each's top sale. And remember, any sale made by eBay within its 3-year look back period have been verified as paid for in Terapeak. So coming in at number 5 is the Patrick Kane gold out of 10. PSA 9 sold for $2,500 just this past August. It's a pretty healthy Patrick Kane sale.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's good.
Number 4 is a Sidney Crosby Rainbow, or what we would mostly call like a silver prism. PSA 10 sold for $2,587 US via eBay in August 2022. Nice looking card. Number 3 is another Crosby, the Auto PSA 10 sold for $5,520 US in January 2023 via Fanatics Weekly. See, and one thing I didn't mention about the autos. All the autos are like, I think, and still today they're all sticker autos.
Yeah, they're all sticker.
Yeah, and this is a set that I appreciate much more the non-autoed version, but
Mhm.
Even though it's sticker, the card design looks nice for the auto though. Number 2 is a Crosby Gold out of 10 BGS 9.5 that sold for $21,600 US in the Fanatics Weekly last May, so May 2024.
Oh, you just wait, buddy.
And then the number 1 is the Alexander Ovechkin Gold out of 10 BGS 9.5 sold for $36,000 US by Golden Auctions in August of 2022. So these get pricey.
The golds, like, have you seen the blue prism in hand, the 12-13 blue prism? That's and the cracked ice. Those 2 cards are just absolutely incredible. I've never seen a gold in hand. Or do they pop like the blue prism and the cracked ice?
I don't know.
I don't think they do.
I have a 2013 blue Pulsar Ovi it's coming on Monday.
Mhm.
It's been like in eBay authentication for
Ever.
Blue Pulsar's 13-14, blue prism.
Yeah, 13-14. It was a
12-13.
retail.
Yeah.
I think like that's another thing to tie into like 13-14 a little bit, just to understand the differences. And to me, this is a little bit of it's too bad in certain ways because you have a number of retail, sort of like Upper Deck does. You have retail exclusive parallels, and they did the red prism for Target, the blue prism for Walmart. And none of them are numbered. And then the Pulsar was another, I think, a Walmart. Maybe one was maybe in a blaster, one was in a hanger pack sort of kind of thing. And to me, that diminishes this 2012 set and a little bit in the rarity of the blue and red, because it kind of associates it with retail at that point. And so you have to understand that the blue and red in 2012 are base set parallels that are numbered and like out of 50 and 25. So they're pretty tough chases.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's
Lots of change in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there you go. Good overview, you think, or no?
Excellent.
Yep.
Good job, Josh. Yeah.
Okay.
Seth will let us know.
Yeah, that's right. Seth will let us know. I always, man, I get the Father's Day. I get confused. I thought Father's Day is cracked ice, but it's Pulsar Prism or something, right? It's a Prism Pulsar.
Isn't Father's Day the day when you find out usually you have different kids that you never knew about?
Okay, all right. Let's move on. I don't want to confuse a good listener. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Faja's Day.
Fasha.
Slab Sharks, Gongshow partner and sponsor. We are super grateful, of course, for their support of our show. The current weekly auction is live. Ends tonight. A huge auction again, like over 4,000 cards. I say that every week because it's true. They're a hobby event. You don't want to miss out on many, many bangers. That'll be ending at slabsharks.com. Now, do you guys have your eyes on any cards this week?
No, haven't looked yet.
No, I honestly, I have not looked at Slab Sharks yet, to be honest with you.
Oh, those are great cards. Yeah.
There always is. That's probably why I'm not looking.
Well, I like the cards I picked, but I'm kind of more interested in the auction for next week.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
okay, well, look forward to that. Now, so many Canadian hockey card collectors are turning to Slab Sharks to help sell their cards on eBay because, well, they make your life very easy. If you haven't yet given Slab Sharks a try, we'd highly recommend it. They basically do all the work, so you don't have to. Plus, your cards get listed, and I don't know, it's got to be the biggest hockey auction each week, right? There's nobody.
I don't think so.
Just has to be.
Yeah.
The biggest one on the planet Earth. Haven't checked on any other planets. So head to slabsharks.com for complete consignment info, including payout rates, and to get the process started today. Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Hobby news.
Oh, I'm excited for this one. So I don't know if you guys have seen this or this will be new to you, but The Athletic, I think yesterday, had a really nice write-up on their top or 2025 NHL all under 25 years old team.
Oh, cool.
So they did basically a complete roster of players who they think the best prospects that are under 25 years old are. They came up with 4 lines of forwards, 3 defensive pairings, and 2 goalies. So, Phil, how many Senators do you expect? Like, will you throw like a tantrum and maybe have to use the restroom if what
How many
players are not on
Sen?
this?
I would
Yep.
expect 2.
Who would they be?
Stutzel and Sanderson.
Okay. Let's see what the result was. So we're going to start with the forwards, and they did it like first line, second line, third line, fourth line. So on the first line, they Timmy Tantrums makes the first line center. Wow.
Yeah.
Followed by Matt Boldy as left wing and Lucas Raymond as the right wing. Then at line 2, you have Cole Caulfield as wing, Jack Hughes, center, still at 25, or he's still under 25. And Connor Bedard apparently isn't the center anymore. They're just putting him right at right wing. So that's interesting. Line 3, you have Svechnikov, Macklin Celebrini. Already getting a lot of respect there. And then Seth Jarvis. So he's got a couple of Hurricanes around him. And then there's a couple of Blue Jackets on the fourth line. You have on wings Fantilli and Marchenko, and centering Wyatt Johnston. Now, before we get into discussion and comments, I'll let you know like who their sort of honorable mentions or snubs were. They listed Matt Michkov for forwards, Kent Johnson, Dylan Gunther, Logan Cooley, Leo Carlson, our new guy, Alexei Protas, William Eklund, and Matty Beniers. So when you look at this list of 12 forwards, Phil and Louis, do you agree with the list? Is there anyone that you would argue that was left off that should be on? Or do you think these are the top 12 prospects in the league?
I like Thomas Harley in there. Big fan of him. He was really good at the Four Nations.
Okay, we're talking about forwards, though.
I apologize. Sorry, I'm enjoying this. I think this is great.
Okay.
Jarvis. I'm a big fan of Jarvis.
Yep.
Svechnikov, I think.
I'd pull him out and move Kent Johnson from center to wing.
Okay. Yeah, the ones that I feel that probably Dylan Gunther maybe could have earned a spot on there.
I thought he'd be
But
better this year. I watched a game with him. I was like, I don't want to judge him on one game, but I kind of singled him out to specifically watch him. Didn't buy the NHL package for nothing. And yeah, got to watch a few more games with him. I thought he'd have a little more pure, raw skill. How old is Nylander? He's over 25, eh? On Toronto?
yeah, he must be.
Yeah, he's got to be.
Oh, he's got to be like 28, 29, something like that.
Okay, yeah. So
I found it, the thing that I found most interesting is, and I can't speak as much to Stützle, but that you have Boldy, Stützle, and Raymond ahead of Caulfield and Jack Hughes.
is it ahead? Is this like first, second, third, fourth liners?
Yeah, that's kind of how they did it.
Oh. I don't know. I love my boy Timmy. He's a fantastic first liner. I definitely wouldn't have Lucas Raymond on the first line. I would have Caulfield right beside Stützle.
Yeah,
big time. I've seen Raymond play enough this year. Yeah, he's good, but I like more.
Well, it depends on which Matt Boldy. Is it the ghost of Matt Boldy that somehow is invisible during half the games, or the one that makes you actually like him? So that's the other thing. So yeah, I think overall pretty good job on the forwards. Louis, you have any comments or feedback? Are you emotional that Jack Hughes is disrespected by Timmy Tantrums?
Love it.
No,
Good.
no. Jack Hughes is when he's healthy, he's an assist machine. So
No.
that's good. Don't forget to mention the extra forward there.
Oh, Matthew
pick
Nyes.
was Matthew Nyes.
Yeah, so they picked like an injury replacement. And definitely I think I would put some of their snubs ahead of Matthew Nyes. But okay, moving on to defense, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
So first pairing, Rasmus Dahlin and Mo Seider.
Yeah. I'm good with all three. Noah Dobson, yeah, he's great, but
yeah,
I don't know. I thought my third line pairing would be I'd see if maybe there's someone else other than Dobson. I know he's good, but he's been he's had some rough games this year, I think.
Jake Sanderson and Brock Faber, that's great. Maybe we should trade for Sanderson, Louis, and put him next to Brock. That might work.
What is with you Americans? Think you just go get what you want whenever you want it? You can't have Jake Sanderson. He's on an 8x8.
Are you sure?
Yeah, what does the Wild have? We'll take Kaprizov. That's the only thing you have. You have nothing else.
True. We have Faber.
Kaprizov and Faber, and we'll do it. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then Thomas Harley, he became like baby, like fetus Bobby Orr ever since the Four Nations. Like, yeah. Has any nobody ever talked about Thomas Harley before the Four Nations?
I know. Dallas is sexy pick, man. Cole loves Dallas. Hasselhoff, he's got a little Dallas star in his eyes. I know it. I know that upsets you guys. I do apologize.
Okay, so now it gets kind of interesting. So the extra like injury guy they picked was Owen Power on D. Then some other snubs and honorable mentions, and huge disrespect. I'm shocked, frankly. No shimmy shakes on this list at all. So yeah, sorry Montreal. And Luke Hughes was the other one mentioned. So do you put Power, Hudson, or Luke Hughes, or anyone else you can think of that's under 25 in Dobson's spot then?
Fox, maybe? No, he's way older.
He's older than 25.
Yeah. He hasn't have a good year either. No, you know what? I'm sure Noah Dobson's the right pick. I haven't seen him enough. Can we talk about Kirill Marchenko though? Back to forward. He's a jammer. He's a player. Wow. Very impressed with him. And I always made fun of him because I don't know. I just made fun of him for some reason. I don't know. I have no idea, but he's really good.
I feel like things are trending up in Columbus. Like I would be happy right now if I was a Blue Jackets fan.
I'm terrified they're in my I'm always scared of them. Everyone's like, "Oh, Montreal's on such a tear." Yeah, don't rule out Columbus, man.
And then for goalies, they put their number one goalie as Spencer Knight, which is again, another guy who's sort of, it's not that he came from nowhere, but he was here and then wasn't for a while, right? Because he had to deal with his personal issues, and then he was stuck behind Bob and then gets traded to Chicago, and now he's the number one. So that's a lot of respect towards him. And then Dustin Wolf is the backup, which I love Dustin.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that's your boy.
I haven't even checked it. How is Spencer Knight doing since the trade?
Excellent.
Oh, really?
Oh, since the trade? Oh, I don't know. He was doing good in Florida before he got traded.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know about Chicago. No, I'm clueless.
okay. Hard to pay attention to Chicago these days.
Yeah, I haven't watched any.
Okay, so I have 3 questions based on this for you guys. And it sounds like the first one will be easy. Overall, do you sort of agree or disagree? How do you rate the Athletics' job in putting their 2025 NHL all under 25 team together?
A minus.
Yeah, I'm not one to argue this. That looks fine.
Okay. Of these players on the graphic here that we've talked about, who has the most upside in your mind?
The most out of forwards, defensemen, or both?
Any one of them, right? If you had to bet on one player.
Well, it's my boy Sanderson. I'd pick him over Stützle.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
You think he has more upside than anyone else?
So I would go Sanderson, second, Caulfield, third, Stützle, fourth, but Celebrini, fifth, Bedard.
Okay. Who do you think, Louis, has the most upside?
I don't know. I don't know. That's just that's a good group of under 25-year-olds. I don't know who has the most upside out of the group, though. It's easy to pick on Celebrini and Bedard that would have the best upside, but
Well, they're still the youngest. I mean, Macklin
Right.
Celebrini the youngest, so you could go by there. That because he's at 18 versus some of these guys are 24. I mean, think of that. That's a 6-year gap.
mhm.
How tall is Caulfield? What is he? 5'8"?
I think he's 5'10", isn't he?
Oh, really? Maybe bends over a lot. He just. Well, I mean, Crosby's 5'11", and he doesn't. Caulfield just looks little out there, but he's such a gamer, man. He's such a joy to watch.
Well, the big thing with Caulfield this year is, if you recall, he had like the hobby explosion right when he blew out his knee. That's what it was, right? And because he was on pace to have 45 goals that year, right? And so everyone was doing the projections.
Yeah.
Well, then he came back, and it's hard to come back like nothing ever happened when you tear your ACL or whatever that was.
Mhm.
And he had somewhat of a disappointing 28 goals last year. And so then the joke was, it's like the guy that everyone, still has never scored 30 goals. Well, with 67 games played, he's at 33 goals this year. So he has finally crossed that
Who?
33. Caulfield.
Cole Caulfield.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes sense, right? Being a year removed from the ACL recovery.
Oh my goodness. I would take Hudson. I'd put Hudson in instead of Dobson. That's what I would do. Yeah, I love that kid. Big fan.
I think I'm gonna go with Bedsy as the biggest upside, though.
Ooh.
If I had to pick one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Celebrini.
Well, I saw this stat the other day. Oh God, get it right, please. I think him and Crosby are the only players over the last 30 some odd years that have had 40 goals and 70 assists before turning 20.
Do I need to block off another 6 minutes at the start of next show, or
maybe?
I'm going from memory here, so
no, that's impressive. That's very impressive.
I see Bedard more like Ovi, like explosive and crazy and goofy, and Celebrini more like Crosby, more smart, a little calculated. That's why I think Celebrini's got a bit of a bigger upside, because he seems to have a little. Yeah, I don't know. He's less loose. He's not throwing his body around in a kind of a bad way as much as Bedard is.
Okay, so now the last question. Anyone that you see on this list, or anyone else you can think of that is 25 or under, are any of these going to be hobby superstars at the level of Matthews, McDavid, McKinnon, or Makar in 5 years?
Oh, yeah. Caulfield, Hughes, Stützle, Knight, Wolf. I'd love to say Sanderson. I just don't know how many goals he's going to put in.
So you think like the Caulfield Young Guns will go for $500 to $1,000, something like that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
I'm not even
Celebrini, I think, is the only one that has that chance in my mind.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
I'll throw him in my mix too. Yeah. I'll tell you who I don't understand. Svechnikov is under 25. He's the same draft year as Brady. They must be okay. That's
We
kind of
probably
weird.
started when he was super young.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah, well, definitely not him or, White, Johnston, Marchenko, Jarvis, no. Raymond, no. Boldy, no.
I want to say
Hughes.
Jack Hughes, but I just can't. If he could put 2 years back to back healthy, then, but I don't know if I don't know if he can.
I got faith in him. I got faith in the brother Hughes.
What do you think, Louis? I mean, because that top tier is very exclusive and it's small, right? And so this is, they are saying these are the, best players 25 and under. Do you see any hobby superstars here?
I don't. Well, my hope is for Celebrini. The problem is I'm trying to look at all these guys and go, do I see any McKinnon, Ovechkin, Crosby's in here?
Yeah, we're talking Hart trophies, Art Ross, Norris trophies, Stanley Cups, right? I mean, you have to, the top of the game.
Celebrini can do it. Bedard can do it. Bedard needs teammates or a new team.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, so
Well,
nobody feels.
I thought Wyatt Johnson would be one of those guys, but it hasn't been that way.
My takeaway from this is, and the realization I feel like I had a year ago, is again that top level is very exclusive and hard to get. And we said it a bunch, but every year a new crop of young guns comes out. We get excited about these players, and very few have lasting superstar status, right? That where they're just the bankable hobby stars, and because you have to be so good to reach that level, and tough to do, right? I mean, these are all going to be great players. That's not the question. It's getting to that very top tier. Okay, we're going to move on.
I like this next one. I was going to put it in there. I took it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this was posted to the breaking news section of our Discord. So I can't remember exactly who posted it, but thank you, because I get a lot of information from the folks in Discord for keeping us in the know. So this upcoming Major League Baseball season, 6 of the top players are going to wear a special gold MLB logo on their uniforms all year. And this is being done in collaboration with Topps, Fanatics, and Nike. So the players are going to be the 2 MVPs, 2 Cy Young winners, and 2 Rookie of the Year winners from last season. So it's Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge on the MVPs, Cy Young winners Chris Sale and Tarek Skubal, and then the Rookie of the Year winners Paul Skeens and Luis Gil. Is that how you say it? I don't know. So they're going to wear these special gold MLB logos on the uniform throughout the season. Following the 2025 season, 10 of the game-worn gold MLB patches are going to be transformed into exclusive autographed logo man Topps cards. So, again, they keep taking these, like creating these special jersey patches, putting them on, and it's easier for Topps to do, I get, because they make the jerseys, right? Fanatics does. Well, I guess Nike makes the baseball uniform, so it has to be in partnership with them. And then they're creating these very unique, exclusive, like crazy cards from it. And if you're wondering, does this work? Well, we know, and it might end today, but the last time I checked, like the Paul Skeens with the MLB debut patch, rookie patch auto, was at almost $800,000 US dollars. So
and a date with his girlfriend, isn't it? Something funny like that?
I don't know.
I heard it was something like that. Yeah, I'll pass. I'll take the money.
I just really, really hope that Upper Deck is working with the NHL on stuff like this. Can you imagine?
Well, that's the reason I pulled back on this story, though. What would you want on an NHL jersey? Because you already got the the NHL Shield cards. Do you want that, like, make that gold for a game or something? I couldn't think of anything.
Yeah, that's a great idea. That's exactly what I would want. And I'd want other things stitched on that jersey. And as long as he wore it and I can see it in a picture on the internet, I want it in my card.
Yeah, Winter Classic Heritage Classic, the All-Star games, right? The Four Nations. Just
Oh,
do
if you're really lucky, a lot of Canadian teams have sponsored banks. We have a bank up here called CIBC. I would love to get a hockey card with that in it.
I'm more of a Scotiabank guy.
Yeah, Scotia Bank. You got to say it like that. Scotia Bank.
for the love of everything holy, please tell me you're
But
being
Josh,
I'm
sarcastic.
totally
Josh-
kidding. I'd burn the cards. Ridiculous.
Josh, when you say the Winter Classic, Stadium Series, and all that, what do you want? You want like a gold NHL shield from that game, or a patch
Make a special patch for it. I mean,
Okay.
that's what Topps would do.
that would
Right,
fit
they
on
would
a
say-
card?
Yeah, and it would say the year,
Yeah.
like
cut it.
2025 Heritage, and like on the debut patch, it goes right on the baseball player's sleeve.
Yep.
They just sew it on for that game, and they take it off, and they put it in a card. And I feel real passionate about this because this Paul Skeens card, it not only creates a massive amount, every time there's a bid, there's news articles about it. So think of the massive attention it creates for not only hobby, but it helps create interest in baseball. If you had crazy cards like this with super unique patches like a Bedard or Celebrini, whatever rookie du jour, or crazy McDavid patch, whatever they could think up, I think that could, if marketed right, could help grow hockey too, not just collecting.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seems so obvious. It's such a home run, and I think super smart strategy for Major League Baseball and Fanatics. And I'm also going to be curious to see if they can convince the NFL to do some of this sort of stuff, right? And I hope they do, because that's going to, if the NBA and NFL and Major League Baseball are doing this, and hockey is the only sport that isn't, if Upper Deck it needs some convincing to do to the NHL, maybe that would convince them to participate.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'll believe it when I see it, though, with the NHL and for Deck doing something.
Is
But
it
like, what if you did this and put it in, like, I don't know, SP Game Used?
Oh,
People
and
go
make
crazy.
something really
So-
game used and game used?
I feel like I'm in a fever dream every time. I feel like you specifically asked this. I don't know if it was to Billy or was someone else, but the response we got is like, "Oh, guys, we do that. What are you talking about? We do that." And I feel like we both said, "No, you don't." And then he gave a couple of examples, and then the conversation was over. I feel like this is a very apprehensive topic every time we
Yeah.
talk to the brass at Upper Deck. So I agree with Louis a little bit, like, I'll believe it when I see it. And listen, all the things, like, guys, it's not that easy. It's easy to talk about it, but we have to do the thing. That's great. We don't know what goes on at our favorite card manufacturer company. So we're working on this, guys. This would be great. We're really trying. It's not our right to know these things, but look at what their competitors are doing in the other sports. It's getting a little silly, isn't it? Like, we're getting to the point where, like, can we get I don't know, like, I
just
know.
want some of the pie too,
Yeah, like,
You guys just pointed out the other half of the major issue, and you could look at it as an opportunity here too. What Upper Deck tends to do from a marketing perspective is not do it. So think about this, right? We're talking about these baseball cards that won't exist till after next season, but there's news articles everywhere right
Yes.
now. Attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Upper Deck's MO would be to make a card like this and not only not pre-promote it, but really not tell anyone ever about it.
so where's the trauma? Where's the trauma coming from? And Josh, I know you don't like guessing and thinking and stuff like that, but I'm going to use that word. Where's the trauma? Like, what happened? Who touched Upper Deck somewhere to make them apprehensive to release amazing, awesome innovation that we're so excited about because we love them, and we like, where's the miss, right? Where is the peculiarity of the situation?
I don't know.
I don't know either, buddy.
I mean, I don't listen. I'm not trying to say I'm like the world's greatest marketer, but I've done it for 25 years. And I don't see any benefit to not promoting stuff like this. It's like create some buzz. I mean, the only reason not to would be as if there was some. And again, this is I don't even think this is the case, but I'm trying to think of any
No,
reason.
but guess. That's
possibly-
the whole. That's why this is weird.
What would
Guess.
be if you were afraid that you weren't going to be able to deliver on it, right? Because that's the one thing you wouldn't want to do is promise
Overpromise,
something and
under deliver. Yeah.
yeah, overpromise, under deliver. Thank you. That's a good way to put it. But
I mean, for the love of Pete, they sponsor the NHL draft, right? They did at the Sphere
I
or
know.
whatever. Put a patch on that damn jersey that the guys throw on when they're up on stage.
or
That's
the
not
hat
game
that
worn,
they all the
whatever.
team yeah.
It's yeah,
So,
and
it's-
then rip that patch off at the end of the night and put it in a card of that kid whenever. And
What if on the
That would be
hat there's a
sweet.
little patch on the side here, right?
Yeah.
That had like, number one, first round draft pick, and it was small enough where it fit perfectly in a card, and that would be an RPA. I mean, wouldn't you rather have that than a player worn jersey, knowing that Macklin Celebrini wore that cap instantly after he got drafted?
And you can
Yeah.
show the YouTube video where he's wearing
Yes.
that hat.
either way, same way. The hat, the jersey, you pick one.
So
Just put a patch on one of them and put it in a damn card and let's go.
can I tell you what's going to happen? It might be Billy, it might be somebody else, it might be a silly conversation, it might be a fun conversation, it might be a very serious highbrow conversation, but this will come up. It will come up with someone from Upper Deck, and it's not gonna get answered directly. And I would love it, even if it's bad news. It's like, guys, look, 6 years ago, we tried to do this thing. We spent $28 million and we fell on our face and we ate it. We are not going that direction again. Stop it.
Yeah.
Great. Sounds good. I'll stop. Like,
Well,
we're
all
not
you gotta
owed
say is that there's
Listen,
a Pittsburgh Penguins, a Pirates pitcher,
Pitcher.
whose card is going to sell for $1 million effing dollars.
I know, Josh, you hate guessing about things, but this is a big weird one. There's a big matzo ball sitting out there. You know? It
Well,
doesn't-
again, there's two issues, right? And so there's the secrecy side of it,
Oh,
and there's the are they going to do it, or maybe the NHL doesn't want to do it. I mean, you have to have two willing partners, right?
yeah, I would love that to be the reason, because then Upper Deck would look great. Like, guys, we tried the whole bit. The NHLPA doesn't want to do it. Great, then we'll whine about them. I don't know where.
Well, they
can
can't
we
do that
advocate-
though. I mean, that's their
Where
partner.
can we advocate for our hobby to get better, to level up? Where can we do that? Oh, we can make a podcast with our friends, which is what we're doing. But we're a couple of dopes. We're nobodies. You know?
Yeah. So if I had to guess, like if I had to bet, like what's happening right now, and maybe this is wishful thinking, but they're good, smart people. I think that this is not like news to them. I would guess that that stuff like this is on its way. I don't know to what degree, if it's going to be as splashy as the stuff that Topps is doing, but they're just not. They have this philosophy of keeping everything so tight.
They'll make their Facebook ad 3 weeks after with the guy on lunch there, sitting at the desk. Yeah, there we go.
So
I'm sorry, it's funny. You do something funny, I'm gonna make fun of it. It's a funny thing you guys do. I don't know, man. It's I like it every time. I defend you in comments all the time. I have nothing but love. My heart bleeds Upper Deck. I'm allowed to make fun of your silly promos. I'm sorry. That's the way that is.
I mean, how excited would you if we were talking today about in this announcement, we're looking at a graphic with some insane
NHL
hockey NHL tie-in or patch. Oh my God. We'd
be live. We'd be live.
Yeah. And the crazy thing is like, it's 10 cards. I mean, the odds of ever getting one are 0, but imagine like your shop, like how much product that would help you sell too in your shops, right? I mean, this would be like a crazy chase.
How about this? What if the answer is, guys, the amount of work this will take is more than you can ever. Obviously, the answer is going to be something we just don't understand. Cool, man, whatever. If one of the answers is like there's 180 steps we need to take before we even think about this. And then, Josh, I think you made a good point. Do you realize the payoff? Maybe they don't think the payoff would be a big one. I think it would be the biggest payoff ever.
Do you remember the story of how the MLB patch went down? Like when Michael Rubin told the story of how they did it? Do you remember that?
I do, yes. Do you want to
Okay,
say it?
well, I'll
quickly?
just so for every somebody, I don't even know if he had this idea, but somebody presented this idea to him, and this was shortly after Fanatics had bought Topps, and he went to Topps, and at the time, I don't know what this situation, but you have a lot of the previous staff, a lot of lifers there, and
Yeah.
apparently they sat him down and told him all 9,000 ways it was going to be impossible. And because of the magic micro, I don't know what this guy does.
He's a problem solver. That's what he
Well,
is.
he got Kevin Hart to come to our little card shop in Egan in February, right? He called up I think it was Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, and in 5 minutes they were doing it. Right? And so it shows you the power of relationships, number 1, and whatever Michael Rubin has
Drive.
over
He has drive.
yeah, or influence, or who knows, right? But the part is that the Topps people, he said, like, sat and explained to him how this was impossible, it could never happen, and in a 5-minute phone conversation, it was done. They were
It's
like, "This is a
crazy.
great idea, let's do it."
And listen, the bankroll of Fanatics is much different than Upper Deck. Family business Upper Deck. Fanatics is just a
Sure.
behemoth. I get all that. I think we all get all that. We just like, what do we have to do to level up our hobby a bit more, right? And work with the people that we love the most who produce our cards.
And maybe, I mean, you can look
very
at it this way too.
loving conversation to have.
If Upper Deck, let's say they were speculating again, having any sort of issue convincing NHL to do this, now there's a lot to point to and a lot of examples through what Fanatics has been able to do at Topps to, maybe make those conversations go a little bit easier, right? And because obviously the fans and collectors have responded to this approach in a huge way.
Oh my God, could you imagine like Tim Hortons patches on the seat, like very Canadiana, get a little beaver, like Roots, I'm sure would, there's so many cool things you could do, man.
Or think about this, right? Like when a player has 999 points, that you put a little 1,000-point
Yeah, exactly.
on their jersey, and now you have a patch from the jersey where
and there's glow in the dark fabric. Do you see where I'm going with this?
But Louis, we won't have a player score 1,000 points for 4 years. So just kidding. All right,
keep talking. Don't go on yet because I'm not ready.
What's going on?
I'm sidetracking now.
Okay, about what?
I got an idea. I just want to I wanted to show everybody something. I figured I'd have a little bit of time here, but you're rolling.
Well, yeah, I think we rolled out. I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of out of steam on this.
I'm a Decepticon. You're an Autobot. You can roll out. I'd rather.
Oh, really? Which Decepticon? Were you one of the tape the ones in the tape deck? Remember those?
The tape deck?
No, yeah. There was the boombox, and then you had the Transformers that were the tapes that went in the boombox.
Yeah, they're the Decepticons, like Starscream.
Yeah. Oh, there
Starscream
you go.
was like the Megatron's like main guy, but I mean Soundwave was my favorite. Well, I can't do it, but Soundwave's probably what you're thinking with the bats that come out of them. Yeah, Soundwave. Yeah.
Or even make little versions of these patches here and put them in a card. Montreal draft, Vancouver. How sweet would that be in a damn card?
Side of the hat.
Sure.
And then you just lightly sew it, and then boop. You
look at the Dallas one. That one's beautiful. Oh, look at the Ottawa one. The Ottawa one, bottom left. That's really nice. Mm-hmm. And the American Columbus. Wow, man, imagine that. Imagine that in a Brady Tkachuk card or something. A beautiful American. Well, no, that wouldn't make sense. That's Columbus. Anyway.
Yeah, you could do it for every first rounder and have just a huge card.
Oh, the possibilities. Right. They should just hire us. We'll do this all. We'll do it. I'll write emails. Josh will write the emails. I'll do the bookings. Louis will do the video. We're good. Sold.
Mm-hmm. All right.
All right. Can we move on, Louis, now?
Absolutely.
Okay? All right. One more. I'm excited to get to this one, too. So kind of a funny or fun collector story here. It comes from the media site Collect. So last spring, a hockey memorabilia collector, a guy named Doug Reiser, was looking for an early career. He wanted an affordable because he doesn't have tons of money, I guess. Game used Wayne Gretzky stick. And so he went to this auction, gray flannel. Have you guys heard of gray flannel?
No, I own a pair though.
Pants.
What?
I own a pair.
Oh, okay. So auction company Great Flannel had 3 game used Gretzky sticks, and there's 2 he wanted, but I guess the price got out of his range or his budget, and so he ended up settling. If you're looking on this, a white Titan stick that was just marketed as being used at some point in the 1981-82 season. So he ends up buying the stick for $3,775 US. After the auction, he gets the stick and he thinks, well, I'm going to try to photo match this stick to find out if I can see what game it came from.
Oh,
And he was
nice.
successful in doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And it turns out that this stick was used in a February 24, 1982 game between the Oilers and Buffalo Sabres, where Wayne Gretzky broke Phil Esposito's single season goal record, scoring his 77th goal of the year.
Wow.
Well, now the stick is about to go at auction at Sotheby's, and their pre-sale estimate is $100,000 to $200,000.
Holy crap! Good for you, buddy. Oh, I love
Isn't that
this
amazing?
story. Good for him. Oh, that's awesome, man. That's fantastic. Just move the decimal. Oh, that's great. Good job, buddy. Love those Titan sticks. We all had those as kids.
That's
Are you
awesome.
surprised that you could get a game like an early 80s game used Gretzky stick for under $4,000 US?
Yeah, I have trust issues. I wouldn't trust any of that. I'd want to see the photo match before I put my bids in.
Well, we got word the other day that Grant Paterson, owner of GP Sports Cards, our official breaking partner here, and owns a card shop too, Total Sports Cards in the Toronto area. In addition to breaking, he's been focused on collection buying the last couple years, I think, making it a bigger priority now. And pretty frequently has amazing cards walk into a shop. Well, a certain deal that is very special and rare just went down, and so we had to have him on the show to talk about it. And so with that, we hope you enjoy this conversation with Grant Paterson about the Hobby Grail collection he just bought. Well, we are excited to welcome back to the Hockey Cards Gongshow podcast Grant Paterson from GP Sports Cards, Total Sports Cards. GP is, of course, the official breaking partner of our show, and so very excited to have you on. But we'll talk a little bit about breaking at the end. But our main goal, and something that we had talked about when we were, I guess, planning our partnership, and some of the content that you could bring to the show, and some of the stuff that you're doing interesting in the hobby, is some of the collection buying that you're doing. And from everything I've seen, from photos you've sent and different social media posts that you guys have done for yourself, you've had a heck of a week in buying collections, huh?
Yeah, it's been a fun one. We had a crazy complete set come by the store that you never see, and it's been a good couple weeks of buying as we lit up for the April show in Toronto. This is typically when we do most of our big buys and really hunt down a ton of new inventory for the show. So been trying to buy as much as possible right now.
Okay, we got to talk about that set. So Louis, why don't you can even start throwing up some pictures. So now you fill in the blanks here, Grant. But so is this a full set of 1951 Parkhurst that came into the store? Is that what happened?
Yeah, that's
it's a full set.
Full set. And what's crazy about this? So the family that brought it into our store, they got the cards about 8 months ago. So they had them for the last show at the Toronto show. And so they sort of asked for some advice and what the best way to go about it was. Funny enough, like I was so busy negotiating, doing deals at the booth that they came by and spoke with my dad regarding this set. And then also by a mutual friend, they were referred to us for this collection. So what they did is they went out and thankfully they graded the top 4 cards, top 3. So they got the Gordie Howe, they got the Sawchuck, and they got the Richard graded. So that was, super important. I made this whole process a little easier, especially like, working out a deal with them, because when they're raw condition, there's so many different variants in the condition of the card that can make it grade anywhere from a 2 to a 5. There's a wide range, and the values are pretty drastic, especially for some of those bigger names. So thankfully, the top 4 were graded, and so when they brought those into us, it made that whole process a little bit easier. But crazy to think, like a complete set. So their backstory on this was their father, they're helping them move out of his house into an old age home. So they just stumbled across this set in a shoebox in the closet, and they were opening up and they were saying that there was dust when they opened up the box first, and they're like, these look like we got something good. So they had some older baseball cards, same era. They actually had a few base from the Mantle year, which is crazy. But everything was from 51, 52. And it's crazy to see a complete set. So when they opened up the box, there it was exactly, it wasn't in this binder, of course, but it was in complete order from the start to finish, the whole set. And then they went ahead and got some of the top ones graded at the show, got those returned, and then through the mutual contact, they recommended us to take care of them on this set. So
Gotcha.
How
So
did
now,
hold on, how did they find them? Did they find them just like not in anything in this shoebox, or were they in an,
That's a good
you
question.
know?
I didn't ask that. Like the way they described it to me is they were going through the closet and they found like 2 shoe boxes and they were just filled with cards. He did say they were stacked in order. So whoever was putting together the set, you know, obviously their father, he knew what he had, I guess, at that time. So he did put them in order, and most of them are in okay shape. I would say the average grade on most of the commons is a 3. But they got some good grades on the top one, so they lucked out on that end for having some of the key grill rookies in the set. Some nice grades.
so when they brought this into your shop, was it an appointment or did they just literally walk in one day and surprise, we have a
No,
complete?
they sent us an email. That would have been crazy. My face would have
Yeah.
absolutely hit the floor. So they sent us an email and sort of gave a rundown of the top ones, and that's where I sort of gave them their values on those ones. It made it easy, and then made sure that we could sort of connect on a price that was fair for both parties. I'm still new to like the whole vintage. Like
Yeah.
I was talking to you about that, Josh, where I learned my lesson with, it was actually funny enough, a 52, 53 set, which was my first sort of like getting used to the vintage side, where I didn't account for, you know, the chances that a card may be trimmed or it has a crease that I don't see. So I learned my lesson pretty hard on a 52, 53 set, where a lot of those grades I got killed on. And so to me, it looked like a 4, I was valuing it at a 4, and I was paying them out a stronger rate than I should have, not taking that into account, the grading fees and all that. So, but same thing, even sort of with a few cards from the same family, I sort of learned my lesson on a pretty big card as well that they brought in. It was a 52 Bowman Mickey Mantle, and I was not familiar with the grade difference between a PSA and a BGS. So when I comped that card for them, I was using a PSA, and I don't know, maybe it's a baseball thing, but the PSA version of the Bowman Mickey Mantle goes for 9,000, and I valued the Beckett at 7, thinking like, okay, there's going to be a little bit of a gap there. Well, the Beckett sold for 5. So, yeah,
Oops.
definitely made a big mistake on that card. But you know, you live and learn, and this is such a cool, unique set that it made up for a little bit there. But I'm excited because this is something like, obviously, like people who have stores never get the opportunity to even see one of these sets come by. And so, you know, 4 or 5 years into it to get one of these sets, and my plan is sort of to grade them all, and I'm going to see, like, I'll probably keep the set together. I just want to see sort of like how the whole set completely grades in like order from 1 through. So they did have the grades on the Howe, the Richard, the Harvey, and the Howe, obviously.
Okay. So I have a couple questions about like big picture questions. Unless you want to, but you don't have to. I mean, is this like how big of a purchase is this? Like a 6-figure purchase or like
No,
high
so
five?
no, sorry to cut you off, but yeah, that
Like
was
high
something
5
where,
figures, or I'm just trying to get an idea of like how
yeah, so
big of a decision this was for you.
yeah, for sure. The biggest card in the collection was the Gordie Howe right there, the
Yeah.
6.5. So thankfully for us, like the day before they brought it in, a sale on a 6 happened at 15,000. So it was very easy for us to use that sale.
Yeah.
And then we value that at 17,000. So it was definitely a big purchase. Majority of coming from that card. It wasn't six figures. That was one thing where when they first got the set, they got sort of, information.
Well, you think you won the lottery, right? It's like you're
exactly
picking out the color of your Ferrari and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I was telling them how like amazing that grade is on that HAL. Like to get a 6.5 from the set when majority of the set looks between a 2 and a 4. They got very lucky on that grade, especially with the Sawchuck as well. So they got fortunate on the bigger cards, but it's one of those things where they thought like every common was worth $200-300, and that's the problem where you got to get those graded, and you can pick up those commons in a 2 to 3 condition for much less. So we went through that whole process with them. But yeah, the first number that they had in mind was like 60,000, and it wasn't that. So, but we worked.
And again, I mean, the money side's almost the icky piece of this, because you don't want to lose sight of the fact that this is a complete set of the first post-war hockey card set. 1950. It's a huge deal just from a collector's perspective. But damned the money a little bit, and so you kind of mentioned that your plan is to, at least right now, to keep it as a set. Okay, now I'm gonna ask you to put your other hat on, the business side. Where's the value in something like this? Is it in piecing it out, or is there more value because the set is so iconic and having that complete set?
There's two sides of it. Like if you're looking to move it in one shot, for sure the complete set. And I'm still sort of learning the way. Again, this is like maybe my 4th or 5th vintage deal, and this is the Grail set to sort of start with. So I'm using a lot of like connections that I know that are experts in this field while I still learn it and go through it. At first, my first thought was piecing it out, because that's where I was when I was comping everything for them. I was going card by card and pulling the sales on some of the grades for even the commons all the way up to the top names, and that seemed to be where you could see the most value in the collection. But there's not many complete sets out there and available, so that's another end. Now my thing is, like, the first thing I thought was like, I want to send all the ones that aren't graded to PSA, and the problem is the three 4 biggest ones are all Beckett. And
I was going to ask you about that, not to cut you off here quick, but when you were telling them, or you guys were having that talk in the beginning about, get these ones graded, top 3, top 4, why did these ones go to Beckett versus PSA or vice versa? I don't do a lot of grading, so I don't know what would be better where, but
yeah, so that's good point. I always recommend people to PSA. So we sort of had the same situation with somebody who brought it was a Fleer PMG of John Stockton, and I remember with Slab Sharks because they first called us a few months before the expo, and they were like, "Hey, we just found this card with our parents, and we have no idea what to do with this card. Like, we've called around a few stores, they're offering us 5,000." First thing I did, I checked Card Ladder for them. The last sale on the card was, I think it was like $15,000-$20,000. I'm like, okay, you have a gold mine here. You got to get this graded at the expo, PSA, and you list it with Slab Shark, because I'm not into basketball, so I had no interest in that. But so we ended up doing that for them through Slab Sharks and Karn, and we got a record sale on the card. I forget what it was, but it was $7,000 over what the last sale was. And that's what I recommend people to PSA. But even in that situation with that couple, and this is the reason they didn't choose PSA, is the couple couldn't afford to pay the upcharge from PSA. So even with our case with Slab Shark, we ended up paying their fee for them to get that upcharge, but because I knew how much more value there is to PSA. So that was covered into their fees and all that good stuff.
Will you consider crossing these over to PSA or cracking them and resubbing them?
That's the hard part that I sort of learned with the Mickey Mantle is like from when I showed a few experts that knew exactly what it would grade. They're like, yeah, your Beckett might cross over to a PSA 3. And I'm like, how is that big of a drop? Like, that's mind blowing to me. And that's something that I'll now learn and know going forward. So I take a huge risk cracking that 6.5 HAL into PSA, and it could drop tremendously if it gets a 5. Like a 5.5, Howe went for 17,000. So that shows you right there that 1 point down, and it still goes for the same amount as a 6.5 Beckett.
Yeah.
But if it got demoted down to a 5, like that's my tricky part. So what I sort of had in mind was I'll submit the whole set for grading with PSA, and then maybe leave the 3 there in the Beckett slab and sort of, see how they would cross, get like an evaluation. And but just for example, for that Mickey Mantle, like I got told right away, I was like, everyone was like, yeah, you're not crossing that, you're gonna get screwed. So
Well,
yeah.
I've learned a lot about vintage over the past year and a fair amount about this set. And what I can tell you is that a lot of the value is going to come down to the eye appeal. So when it comes to vintage and lower grades, there can be a huge difference in the value of a high eye appeal like PSA 3 and a low eye appeal. It's almost like that there should be different grades or grades in between. And so it's really tough comping until and so you almost have to look at the grade and say, okay, because some PSA threes, you're like, how is this not a 5? And then
Mhm.
others, you're like, whoa, this card is like terrible, right?
Yeah.
It's like, thank God it got a 3. It's so off centered or something like that where and you look and you can go in and look at like the last year and see there could be $1,000 difference, right? And especially ones that get those like auction company qualifiers like the Fanatics eye appeal rating or the NBA sticker, that sort of stuff. And so that's something to look out for. And like a lot of centering is pretty good. Corners are fine. The print quality on the letters below the photo, that's a big deal. I know on the 51 Parker set because some of them can be pretty faded. And like this Gordie Howe looks amazing. The colors look
Mm-hmm.
bold. Yeah, they got lucky. It was a good buy from the gentleman that purchased the cards originally.
Yeah, that's for sure. And it's like it takes time and experience, and um, knowing that, and the IPO especially. That's why like I trust the opinion on so many experts that like I message with, and thankfully they get back to me instantly. So for example, like one thing in their collection, that like I had a set evaluation for them through all my research when they came in, and then I found out afterwards that they made a deal for the Richard, with the person who was recommending them to bring the collection to us. So thankfully they had a second Richard to keep the whole set complete.
Yeah.
So then I was handling a massive card in the raw condition. And so originally I was appraising it at a PSA 4. That's what I thought it would grade. And then I took a picture close up, front and back, to 3 different people, and they were all like 1.5 to 2 max. And I'm like, I'm way off. So
Yeah.
that's like something also that it's like these smallest little detail that like an average eye in my first time dealing with the set that I didn't pick up, that they knew right away, and they just like they pointed it out.
Well, and then registration is such a big deal in vintage,
Mhm.
and it's never something we think of as a modern hockey collector because registration is always perfect
Yeah.
now in the cards that we deal with. But with those plates, we're a little bit off. It's like the player gets fuzzy or there's coloring outside the line, sort of stuff, and that's just all. It's like a new hobby almost. I'm sure you feel.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, for me, it's fun to learn that like field. My expertise is in modern, but like something like this, I can appreciate just as much, and it just doesn't come across very often. So it's sort of different. Where on a weekly basis, we're seeing modern, 3-4 days a week filled, picking that up regularly, and something like this might come across once every 5-10 years. So
Yeah, it's amazing. You tempted to keep it?
yeah, I mean, again, I talked to you last time where I'm just like, I'm a hoarder. And like my first thought, like, because like, there's like a certain number that you want to be at. And I think I extended to get the collection. So
Mhm.
my first thought was like, okay, I'm going to have to piece this out. But then, after I slept on it, I'm like, this is so cool that like, I kind of want to keep it now. So we'll see. We'll see. I want to get everything graded, sort of do like a video of that, and show everyone like how it grades, and then
Yeah.
I'll decide on that afterwards.
Well, you should find a way to kind of display it at the probably take a lot of real estate, but at the expo. That would be a cool thing to attract people to your
Yeah.
booth.
It's what, 105? Hold on.
Yeah, we got to
Well, if
put
you
out
went to
the
hockeychecklist.com,
Hockeychecklist.com says 105 cards in the set.
oh, there
yeah.
you go.
So
It's cool too, like, even in the binder, like, you can see, like, specific ones that, like, are damaged, like, the Elmer Lack, for example, the first one is,
Mhm.
like, just, like, beat, like, and, like, you know that's from, like, being the first one in the set, so that's, like, cool to see as well, so I don't even mind when we grade it, like, there's gonna be a ton of
Yeah.
ones, but I think that's, like, that makes it even more
Mhm.
awesome that it's the complete set from him.
So
I have
since
to
you got it, how much time have you spent just flipping through the pages and
Oh, a ton. It's so cool and so unique, like, where it's like, I've seen these cards out in the wild, but to just have one in store and, the complete set, it's
the
cool.
complete set.
yeah,
So that's
that's
the part that I struggle with, where it's like, everyone's like, "Wow, it's the complete set." It's like, the more I hear that, it's like, the more I don't wanna split it up. It's just the story behind it and
I think you either got to keep it, or
yeah,
if you move it, it all goes together.
yeah.
see,
What a
but I think
story.
a couple things might be at odds here though, in
Oh
that
no.
I think from a collector perspective, it's very strong pull to the complete set, but you might make more money piecing it out. I mean, you can't say that for sure that you wouldn't, right?
Mm. Oh,
Yeah, that's one thing that I was saying to them, as well, that I was informing them, is like the complete set. I know like, vintage is a little bit different, but I know for sure for modern day, like, it's funny how it works. Where it's like, once you complete that set, you complete the goal and what someone is trying to do. The same thing as you, they're trying to put together their set. So when
Yeah.
they have one piece that they're missing in a grade that they need, it's going to go
Mhm.
for a big premium versus when you're selling it as a complete set. Um, but yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, I'm probably going to keep it complete.
Now, kind of want to go back to, I would assume part of the delicate balance in your role, and I know that you're a very ethical person, so it's not that you wouldn't happily do this, but there's trying to get a good deal for yourself, and then also bringing value to the customer and educating them on what they have and what they don't have. And so, kind of, what's your philosophy there? Like, how do you balance those principles?
Yeah, so my main thing, this was a little bit of a different one, where every card in this set, if it grades well, is a different play. But mainly when someone brings a collection to us, the biggest thing that we like to do is sort of pick out anything above like $100 value, even a $50 value. It just depends on the size of their collection. That's the stuff that we can pay super strong on. And then, the bulk, the jerseys and that sort of thing, we work out afterwards. But we had like a situation with a collection that I'm saving to drop that video before the April show. But this is a really cool one where it was 18 shoe boxes filled with cards, and so we went through. We told them to pull out like all the top stuff. Obviously, 18 shoe boxes filled, like, you can't get to everything, but
Yeah.
we pulled out as much as we could. There was three of us, and we made the deal for the collection, and then we brought home the rest of the stuff, going through it in store, and in a shoebox filled with inserts and base cards, there was three one-of-one grail cards in it. I won't say those yet because I'm going to release those on the video, but like 90s, like, Topps Gold
Wow.
Label grail cards. So, and so we went back to the seller, and we took care of him there. We're still waiting for those grades to come back, so we'll know,
Mhm.
the actual value of those. But just crazy stuff like that, and I always say, like, my main goal is to make my 20-30%, and if anything is above that, like, same thing with them, where I said, if I get a crazy outlying grade on one of these cards, like, you have my information, I'm going to contact you, and you're going to see it, and we're going to let you know. Because again, at the end of the day, I'm trying to make my margin on it, and anything above that, I don't want to be unfair to the seller.
That's very honorable
mhm.
of you. And just kind of because I'm curious and I've never been in your shoes before, let's say the deal doesn't get done. Like, how many hours do you have into something, like, preparing and researching? And
Yeah.
I mean, is it a big kick in the pants when you don't get the deal because all the time you invested, or are you guys pretty quick at assessing?
Um, that's like, it's hard, because that's sort of what I struggle online sometimes, because I need to first make sure that the person that's reaching out to us is serious about selling. Because I know on my end, I'm going to be offering a very, very fair number that is going to make sense. But there's certain people that, might be using it as an appraisal for their collection,
like tire kickers or something like that kind of thing.
Exactly. So that's why typically here locally, if you're within, a couple hours, we ask you to drive in for that process. Now, on the back end, like I spent 6 hours researching this 51 set the night before, but I knew they were serious because it was through a contact that I was friends with and they recommended us. So I knew that was going to be a legit, they were going to bring it to the store. Everything was going to happen there. But if they, don't show up, or example, the number that they had 60,000, which it wasn't near that, that's a problem like that. We worked it out because, again, I had every single thing documented, and that's why we do our research and we have everything there for them to see. But there is times like that a deal is not going to work out. It hasn't happened very often for us because we sort of jump through those hoops to make sure that the seller is serious about selling before, we invest hours of our time into it.
Mm-hmm. So you've been buying other stuff lately too. Anything else interesting come your way that you can share?
He's got something awesome. I saw it the other day.
It's weird. It's a process where it's like I try to save some stuff for like videos, and that's the funniest thing, where it's like when we pick something up, it's like I record everything and sort of like put it out in waves. So like 3 weeks ago we picked up a whole bunch of collections, and then we just posted it this week. So I sort of film that side and then release it afterwards. But one that was really cool recently, I had a collector, and stuff like this is like where I appreciate social media and that sort of thing so much, where this collector was selling off a lot of his collection, and he sold most of it to a person in the US, but he kept one card for me because he knew I was a Crosby fan. So he walks in the store, he's like, "Hey, I got a card that you're gonna like." I'm like, oh gosh, here we go. And he pulls out the select gold out of 10 of Crosby from 13-14. I'm like, wow. He's like, so I sold pretty much everything but this card because I wanted it to go to you. And I was like, wow, that's unreal. So that's been my favorite pickup of the month. And then, on the daily, like we always do most of our buying on the weekends and Monday, Tuesday. So we're still 7 days a week buying, but our big times is on the weekend when we have, people in store to look at the collections, and we sort of schedule people in to bring them in. So modern is quite often we're picking up, a lot of stuff from week to week.
And you get cool stuff like this.
Yeah, see, like that was a wicked one.
That was awesome.
Like that
those look amazing. Like I think that's the card of the set this year.
Yeah.
Like if you want to pick like the one card that just hits the hardest,
those outbursts are unreal.
I saw that right away. I was like, oh Lord.
I gotta set something up because like those are like interactions that I love to capture on in the store, because like that was just a person walked in, they're like, I hit one card out of clear cut. I'm like, okay. I'm like, what are we working with here?
Well, you only get one card in a box, so.
And I'm like, holy smokes. So yeah, that sort of stuff is like awesome, where like he was like, make me an offer, and he was in and out of the store within like 3 minutes. Like it was cool. But
are you feeling Ovi mania right now? Is it everything Ovi right now? Ovi this, Ovi that, Ovi everywhere?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like I have some Ovis that I'm prepping to sell too, because I'm a Crosby guy. So like at the end of the day, and I say this to everyone, I'm confident that at the end of their careers, their cards are going to be very similar. So for Ovi to be double the price of Crosby, example, on the Young Guns and that sort of thing, give me as much Crosby as I can get right now, because I think Crosby is either underappreciated, or obviously Ovi's inflated right now with the goal record. But I have a lot of Ovi that I'm getting ready to sell, but that whole tariff situation is sort of blistering those sales as well, because people are concerned and scared on that end. So it's like sort of bad timing with that, but he's double the price of Crosby's Young Gun. So I always say that because I'm so ride or die for Crosby, but it's like, hey, buy some Crosbys right now, because if that number stays there for Ovechkin, Crosby's going to creep up there.
Well, the Ovis could be flying at the expo. I mean, you think of the timing of it, it could be huge. Are you feeling good about your inventory situation heading into, we're about a month out from the show?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm going to release a whole bunch of stuff that I've been picking up throughout the year at the expo. Like, I store a lot of that stuff to put it out there and make a splash for the new inventory for the show.
All right, well, it's a big release week, getting to the break side a little bit. So by the time this airs, Premiere will have released yesterday, I guess. Are you expecting big things this year out of Premiere?
Yeah, the product looks amazing. I'm super excited. It's like I always say, I had it ranked. We did like a product ranking for the best products from the last year, and I had Premiere #1, because if you look on a level of quality and consistency, like Premiere is there. Like the next step up obviously is the cup, but you're talking about triple the price. And so for Bedard year, Premiere, we're looking at like $450 right now, and I know it seems like a lot, but like the RPAs of Bedard are going to go for some serious money. And when we're talking about cup for Bedard, we're probably looking at like $2,000, $1,500 a tin. So for 1/3 the price and the quality of cards, excited for Premiere. So we're going to have a whole bunch
the
of
acetate RPAs, I think, are a little bit underrated. They're awesome, in my opinion.
They're beautiful. Like the finish to them, I don't know why they don't sell as crazy. Like if you look at a comparable for McDavid's, acetate RPA, it doesn't go for what it should. And I think that's something that, like, if they continue to make Premiere like a dignified second tier set, that'll only grow in the future.
What do you got shaking for Friday night breaks at GP Sports Cards?
Friday, we're going to run back a ton of Premiere. It's sort of like Premiere week, so it'll carry over from release day. So we'll continue that on for Friday, and then we'll sprinkle in some Premiere into like the mega mixer that we typically do. I don't know. We may, if we get enough interest, run back. We're doing a 5-case player random for release day. So we'll see. Maybe we run that back for Friday. That'd be sweet. So we'll see.
Do you ever do 2 mega mixers, Alagana? Because I know those are sold out. Like every time I go to your site, it's like they're already sold out.
Done.
Yeah, I here's the thing with those. Like, and that's why I'm like late most of the time. I mean, my chat will rip me every time, but I try to put out a time to be live, and then I'm there. I'm sitting building that buyback for that break, like literally the minute and before we're live, trying to put as much value and quality cards in there. So like I build those buybacks the night before or the day of, and so that's like my brain just trying to work with all those cards there. So 2 might push me an hour behind schedule, but we'll see. Maybe try to put in 2, because I know those are our most popular breaks.
Yeah, they're pretty fun to watch too. So again, if you are looking for some fun, either to get in on the action, go to gpsportscards.com, or just watch on GP Sports Cards YouTube channel. A lot of people in the chat, and maybe Phil will be there after his show. I don't know.
Oh, Mr. Moderator.
I don't know, Grant, what you're thinking there, because Phil, right? You've met him, right?
He's got some power in the chat. Everyone's acting up.
Kick him out pretty soon. It'll just be like the current viewers won Phil. It'll be like, look what happened. Somebody pooped on Shane Pinto or something like that.
It's hard to argue.
Yeah, there you go. Phil's here.
Phil's here.
Well, congratulations on acquiring this set. Louis, what's the over under that Grant ends up keeping it? Are we gonna the longer it sits with you, and every time you look at it, you're just gonna fall more in love with it. And
it's got to be gone in April, or is.
You're keeping it.
We'll see.
All right, bud. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Grant.
Nice.
All right, boys. Bill, you weren't there.
I was.
Did you listen to it or watch it? Or you?
I watched a bit of it, but then the phone rang and I got distracted as usual.
Okay.
But I can contribute that Grant is such a good hockey card collector. Forget the business, and he's the owner. He messaged me first and foremost to talk about what he just bought. Not about profit, not about grading, not about anything else. Just the fact that he's holding a piece of history, and it should be in a museum, but it's on the counter of his desk at his work. And he was just enamored by it, and I will listen to it when I watch the podcast.
Louis and I were just BSing after we recorded the conversation. I think both of us, correct me if I'm wrong, Louis, we think he's going to keep it.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
I told him, I said, if you don't sell that in April, it's yours forever.
That's probably right. Yeah, and he'll probably jibe like, he'll put a price on it, and then he'll walk away, and he'll raise it, and then he'll walk away, and he'll put it higher.
I don't think I know I don't have much desire to own a card shop, but if I were to, I would think the best part of it would be stuff like that. Like never knowing what's going to walk in through your door on any given day.
You got to be
Right?
careful.
And there's going to be a lot of 1990 Upper Deck, of course.
Yeah.
But occasionally, right, you're going to see something insane.
Slippery slope, man. I wouldn't want to own a card shop. You don't get high on your own supply, right? But if you work at McDonald's, you can eat the fries. You know, the happy medium's in the middle, I guess.
Yeah.
Wow.
Anything else stand out to you, Louis?
No, I just can't believe that somebody has this whole set right in their hands right now.
He combed his hair. Cool. That meant it was pretty serious. He combed his hair. He looked good.
Yeah, be nice to him. We poked a little fun at you in the interview, so you obviously didn't watch it.
Oh,
yeah, no, I actually do a lot better when people give it back.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah.
Well, now that I know that,
there you go.
Guns will be a-blazing here.
Guns a-blaze.
All right. Thank you to Grant for coming on the show, and can't wait to talk to him in the future about more collections he buys. Well, big release days are going to move on to new product releases, brought to you by our friends and partners at Mint Ink. Mint Ink is an amazing LCS, also a group of passionate people that work super hard to make your hobby experiences, of course, as fun as possible. They've created their flagship store in Vaughan, which is
awesome.
Yeah, it's hard to describe how nice it is. In the Toronto area, they have another store in Davenport too. You can do anything and everything there, from hobby boxes, singles, drop-off cards for eBay consignment, submit cards for grading, join their breaks after dark, or one of their many frequent events. And remember too, if you're going to the Spring Expo next month, Mint Ink is putting on the official trade night Saturday night, right at the International Center in Mississauga. So if you're not in the, that'll be fun. I'm sure we'll be there. And if you're not in the Toronto area, you can participate in the Mint Ink experience on their website, mintink.ca, including getting any new hobby box anywhere in Canada, as Mint Ink is an Upper Deck authorized internet retailer. So speaking of that, Louis, now, Phil has this cookie story, but that's not his biggest obsession. You remember Phil, right, Louis? He's on our show.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, I don't know if you know this, but in addition to cookies, he loves the Ukrainian food pierogies.
Ooh,
that's actually true. I love pierogies.
Loves them. And, the little potato dumplings are very, very good
with some cheese.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, so apparently, in Glendon, Alberta.
Oh, you mean here?
Yeah. There's a giant 27-foot high sculpture of a pierogi. And, that's basically a monument to Phil's favorite food. So about a month ago, Louis, Phil comes to me and he really wants to go take a trip there, visit the sculpture. It's he said it's like a top 3 lifelong bucket list item for him.
Wow.
And the only thing holding him back, though, is he's afraid, new releases are coming out every week and he's got to get boxes. He loves his fix, loves to, he does a lot of opening that we never hear about because it's the secret side. Yeah. Of Phil. And he's afraid if he goes and, checks it off the bucket list that he'll miss any potential new hobby boxes. But then I reminded him, I said, Phil, you can just order your boxes on mintink.ca, have them shipped right to the pierogi statue in Glendon, and you can sit and look at the statue and open up, I don't know, maybe a box of Allure, maybe a box of Premier, whatever you want. And yeah, sure enough. A couple days later, get a photo of Phil, in Glendon eating some pierogies. So this is a beautiful story. I love it when the hobby can help make people's dreams come true. And Mint Ink, thank you for helping Phil see a statue of his favorite food. It's beautiful.
Right.
You know what's funny? When I lived in Banff, I know where Glendon is, and there were some ladies on my floor when I was living in housing, and They drove
Yeah.
I believe it's like 5 hours away. It's like north of Edmonton, northeast or west, I don't know, Glendon, and they never came back. They never came back. I don't know what happened to them, but yeah, very nomadic of them.
Okay.
But yeah, the pierogi ate them
Interesting.
up, I guess.
Yeah.
Careful out there.
Yeah, it's get all your hobby box at minting.ca. All right, mentioned huge release day. Well, we're filming this on Friday, or Friday,
Friday.
Wednesday.
Damn.
Holy moly.
23 premiere came out today. Saw a bunch of breaks saw a bunch of people opening boxes. Johnny always does a fun reel. He opened up a case and opened up a box on Instagram. And so just wanted to kind of go around, and Phil, I know you watched some breaks too.
I had to
Just
mute
to get-
somebody today. I had to put my moderator hammer on and I muted them. Yep.
No.
They're being disrespectful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there somewhere that I can go if I wanted to see what was in this release? Check out the
Oh, yeah,
card.
hockeychecklist.com.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, the complete check. And I was actually adding new photos throughout the day, like 10, as cards are being listed on eBay with, one of every 50 eBay photos is actually good. So I had to sift through that a little bit. But here's just my general observations. And then, Phil and Louis come in as well into the combo. Cards look really nice. I did see some boxes with some quality issues, but I think overall the quality is pretty good. The acetate RPAs are insane. Like there's already this Bedard that was pulled.
Ooh.
I saw this on, I think one of the breakers posted it there. Too bad
Wow.
you hate Chicago patches, huh, Phil?
Yeah, it doesn't do it for me. It looks like wicker. Like it looks like wicker
that's amazing.
furniture.
You know what's funny too? Like if you're into like the grading auto game, this card, the auto would grade terribly because it went off the card, which I think is lame. I don't care. But
2 different shades of blue as well. Beautiful card though.
mm-hmm.
Do you like that matte finish on them? I don't. I like a glossy finish.
Well, I like the acetate, kind of the matte finish, because the rainbow foiling really pops.
It does look good. That is a good point. Yeah, I prefer a nice cup card or exquisite, but I see your point. That really,
I love these.
Yeah, good reception. When I was in the chat all day, there's a lot of good feedback. Obviously there's some people that don't like it, and that's okay.
Sure.
And but overall, pretty positive.
I also checked eBay a little bit too. There's some, you get people had a big card, and there's one Bedard RPA up there that I thought had, this one right here. So they were asking 10K Canadian, which, yeah.
Do you guys like that photograph of Connor?
Well, I think his facial expression is based on the eBay price. Like,
yeah, it's got Michael Serov reincarnated there in his 8-bit card or 16-bit.
It does feel weird too to see there's 4 patch windows in this. So this is the regular Premier RPA, not the acetate, and it's cool that it has 4 patch windows, and they're not bad patches, but it's odd to see 4 Blackhawks patches that are 2 color, isn't it?
Yeah,
Agreed.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what else were your thoughts?
I like the on the forefront cards. I think they're my favorite insert. You
Okay.
look, there's 2 kinds. I like the non-auto myself. I thought that was a very
There's
nice
a jersey and a patch, I believe. You like the patches?
Yeah, I like the patch. Yeah, it was very nice cards. Everyone I saw today I saw Chris Osgood auto today of on the forefront. Amazing. It's amazing card. And Chris Osgood, I mean, you don't get many cards of that. So this was some good thought went into the checklist, which was nice.
Yeah, there's the horizontal set. I can't remember exactly the name of it. I could go look on hockeychecklist.com. But the legend autos, I saw the Bobby Orr get pulled. I think they're out of like 10 or something like that. Those are very, very nice cards. Any singles?
I was going to buy a Medano today for $75, but there was a spot, but there's only 10 Medano cards in the 101. So
yes, there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
pretty
too gambling. That's too gambling for me, gambly.
So it seems like after EX 2000 sort of fell flat last week, that the early vibes I'm getting is that this one is going to be pretty successful for shops and breakers. And
think so, yeah. It's a good product. Good. It's tight. It's not a lot of loose. You know, not a lot of, even though some people were complaining, oh, too many base cards. And all right.
Well, it's a high risk. It's all these
Mhm.
one box products are almost in a way breaking makes sense where you can go after
Mhm.
because you can hit a huge card on any given box, of course, but you can get crushed on a box
Well,
too.
yeah, like let's say some teenager, some 14-year-old Minnesota Wild fan, and he like loves 6 Wild. Well, that'd be a perfect time to buy the Wild in a premier break. Good for you, kid. That's awesome.
Mhm. So yeah, I think it's going to be a success,
Agreed.
and I want to get some more info on this too. But again, it's another reason to maybe to go in on this product. Is I think we've heard through the grapevine that this is the last release that's not going to in Canada that's not going to be tariffed.
Oof. Well, we'll figure that out when it happens.
Yeah,
See
I'll
what
figure that
goes
out.
on.
Get some more info. So go to mintinc.ca and pick up your boxes, or just head into one of their shops for sure there.
Right.
But I'm very impressed with the product. Okay, something we don't do very often here. I don't know if we've ever done this. Usually we kind of move on from topics from show to show, but Louis pointed out to us the other day, was in the chat or something, or one of our text chats or something like that, that we got a lot of good comments based on our last episode on the whole fake comp issue
Oh,
and
okay.
how eBay completed listings are reported as sales, even though many are not paid for, and what the ripple effect of that is throughout the hobby. And so we thought we'd circle back a little bit and look at some of, pick a few of the comments that we like and, see what some of the ideas were and if we've had any thoughts of our own over the past few days on the conversation. So, Louis, I'll let you kind of run through the comments and then we can discuss.
All right. Well, a couple of them are kind of long, but this first one is great show, guys, regarding the eBay comp thing. I have an ugly theory. I think there isn't any outrage on this topic within the hobby because more people than we think are personally jacking up prices for their own cards, creating false comps to sell next time for higher prices or sell at shows for higher prices. And then it goes on to say a few other things. And then I think we collectors are a minority. Cards could be way cheaper, but because of all those flippers and investors, these prices are staying high thanks to false comps created by selfish people. So, you want me to just read a few and then we'll talk about them?
Well,
Well,
I don't
that
know if
one I
I'll
agree. That one's I specifically agree with you, Ben. Yes. I to solve that anger and frustration, and I don't say those lightly. I'm angry. Like it makes me angry. I turn a blind eye. I do. And this most recent experience is just really solidified my blind eye. I'll just find a different way to sell my cards or trade my cards or you're not wrong,
Mhm.
Ben. And he's right. The people are 100% doing that. Like I said last week, I know one of them, right?
Yeah. All right. What else do people say?
Um, I mean, to answer the question straight up, why don't people care about fake comps? People do, but they just also hate when everybody complains about everything. It's something you can't really change, especially for how eBay runs its platform. So if I had a card that I would have to comp, ignore the one absurdly high sale that probably didn't get paid for, and you just go by the average plus comps. Are Go by the average. Plus, comps are just a tool, so it should never be the absolute on a sale. Which is true, but we get comps because of what
Yeah.
people are
Well, and yet
supposedly paying for.
something's not a big deal to you, but it's a big deal to other people. So I'm glad you can navigate through these swampy waters. But it's still frustrating. And I agree with you. I hate complainers and I hate whiners. I think this one's pretty justified, dude. This one is completely mislabeled. Like we're looking at
Yeah.
completed listings and they call it sales.
Mhm.
I'm not I'm addressing my reality and my shared reality with a lot of other people. You can
Mhm.
call it complaining, I call it feedback. That's how I look at that one.
Mhm.
Some people in the comments, because we got a lot of them, kind of intimated that kind of like this guy Yitzy did that it's as simple as, oh, like let's say there's a $500 card. Well, you just ignore the one $2,000 outlier sale.
Too convenient. What position, what side of the trader's sale are you on? That matters.
Well, and I also, my opinion is that it's a bigger issue than that. It's not just one ridiculous outlier sale. Again, I didn't want to bore everybody and go on for hours, but I could have pointed out a million examples. Like when you have 8 of the top 10 Draisaitl paid cards not paid for, right? Is that it not only does that change the perception of those cards, but it also changes the entire perception of the Draisaitl market.
So that's a great question, Josh. So Yitz, what do you think about what Josh just said? 8 out of the 10. You can't just ignore 8 out of the 10. I get both points, but like this is a good conversation. No one's complaining. Like no one's actually even mad. Like we're just let's work.
We're just trying to
through
create
it
awareness,
together.
right? And
Yes,
try to
yes. I
convince
love this. This
people
is great.
to use Terapeak. But
Next one, Michael. I did some analysis on the seller side. Every sale, whether paid or not, shows up in Card Ladder. Terapeak data was 100% accurate, exception for one category of sales. In many cases, a buyer pays, then very soon afterwards requests cancellation. Since I am an agreeable seller, I honor those requests if I haven't shipped it yet, but those all show up as verified sales in Terapeak, even after the refund. So Terapeak is not perfect, in which many cases the cancellations are buyer's remorse, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, we knew this, right?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, so, but the reason why I didn't bring it up is it's like, maybe it's more of a linear thought process, but fix the problem, the biggest problem in front of you, and then move on to the next problem. But
Good
you're
point.
right, Terapeak is not infallible. And so Michael Mons makes a very good point here that you can, and still though, I mean, for somebody to go through the process of paying for something, then request a refund, it's a little more difficult than just not paying ever for the card. So, but a very good point you made.
Next one, show respect, please. Great show and good discussion around comps. It doesn't bother me because it doesn't affect me, I think. If I want to buy an electrifying Pavel Bure, I'm not going to search that in whatever comp tool I am using and just trust what I see. I'm going to search for all cards from the set and compare prices so I have more data. Same if I want a 2020 McDavid Seismic Gold. I don't search that. I search all years of McDavid Seismic Gold. Then I'd search Crosby, Ovechkin, Draisaitl to build a broader understanding of the market. That could be a cool segment on the show, educating people how to comp beyond searching their specific cards on a specific tool. But good information.
Yeah, good feedback.
Yeah.
Good ideas.
Yeah, I mean, obviously what this person understands is that comp is a word for comparable. It's never an absolute, but it still comes down to is understanding that you have good data. So another point that might be easier to illustrate my thoughts on this is that people have made, which I understand is, well, this doesn't affect me because I know how to use Terapeak. I think that's a little bit of false logic. Because whether you know how to use Terapeak or not, I would argue a pretty big percentage of people don't. And there's a cascading effect to comps, right? So if somebody doesn't know Terapeak and buys a card and pays for it based on comps that were not valid, that were not paid, that were not real sales, well, then they just now have set the market at that price, right? It comes back, like, I think people push back at my sentiment that this affects all of us every day.
Of course it does. How do you not push back on that? When it all connects, right?
Yeah, everything's connected, right? And everything pushes values forward. And to some degree, it helps us as much as it hurts us, right? Because it makes, and all value in sports cars is perceptive anyways. There's no like underlying value to them. It's just what the collective market decides something is worth, right? And the problem is we use these tools to help us that's our sort of validation point on that. And again, the data is problematic.
Yeah. Any more there, Louis? Nope, more. Here we
I
go.
got one more here. Love the discussion on the fake comps, fellas. We in the hobby are certainly responsible for doing our due diligence, but it definitely does feel like eBay has the ability to do something about it, but just isn't. If I had to guess, it's because one, it's extra work for them to implement preventative measures, and two, higher comps mean they earn more money via fees per sale.
Maybe. I don't know. That's
Yeah, I mean, they're when you look at the alignment of incentives, is by them fixing this issue, they can't make more. Well, I mean, I guess you'd have to bank on more money that more people would trust in the validity of the platform and the data. And again, though, it's the problem with this is it's not just the consequences are not just isolated to eBay,
Mm-mm.
right? Because these comps that occur on eBay, because it's the largest online platform where we can view actually data, is that this sets the prices at every card show, on every Facebook Marketplace deal, and my card post deals, right? Everywhere someone goes. But do they really have an incentive to fix card show prices? I don't know.
No. Yeah, it's extra work to implement, but I think they need to figure something out, like we said, on just having a sell sheet or, whatever, a completed sales sheet or something. I don't think they care anything about higher comps and earning
Yeah.
more fees at all by it, but I do think eBay could put a little work into maybe
put a lot of work into it. Change it, fix it, make it good. Don't make it frustrating and mysterious and extra steps for nothing. Of course, they have the power to change it. They own the platform.
Yeah.
Come on, man. So people know what they're doing. Stop. There's a time to be forgiving and there's a time not to be. People know what's up. Come on.
And maybe they would make more money too, because when your card doesn't get paid for, they don't make money either.
Yeah, I like what you said last week. I don't really care so much for the why reasons. Like I don't know. That's not my wheelhouse. I cut trees down. I don't know why they're doing it. But it's silly. Stop it. It's not a completed sale. It's a completed listing. It's borderline suspect like it anyway, but that's where I will stop that thought process.
And to me, that's the most egregious part of it, is that report is titled eBay sales history. And to me, that's very misleading, right? Because it's not a sale.
No.
It's not. And we're very family friendly, and Josh is being very polite. Okay. So listen up. I heard a couple other people as well also think, I'm going to say something in general. When we bring something up that's very common among long-term hobbyists, I've been collecting for 48 years. And so to the good listener listening, a lot of you are going to know what I'm about to say, and a lot of you aren't going to know what I'm about to say. And some of you might lie somewhere in the middle. When we talk about things that have been known for years and years and years by little groups here, another group knows information there, nothing is off the table to keep talking about. Okay, so if your big gotcha moment is that you knew something that we were already talking about, so you knew that, say, the completed sales report wasn't a real, of course, man. I hear lots of things other people say that I already knew, but I let them have their moment because other people listening don't know. So that's the feedback I got from our conversation, was people were more interested in laughing at how we didn't know that. We do know that. We don't want to talk about it every week, but we're going to talk about it a lot. We brought this up a year ago as well. That doesn't mean we brought it up again to remind ourselves. And this is more important than CT scanning. This is more important than sticker autos to me, and to Josh and to Louis. And it's our beautiful little goofy podcast. I think we're going to constructively keep talking about this because it's a major part of the hobby, man, as it should be. As it should be. So I'll give you another example. I don't know why I got blurry here all of a sudden. I'll give you another example. When we were talking about the patches, not patches, jerseys, that the jersey might not be of the right player to the right player. A lot of people didn't know that, but other people are like, how did those guys not know that? I'll tell you how sometimes people don't know things. They don't know them. It's very liberating being honest when you don't know something. People should try it, right? So I just want the good listener to know we will always talk about major important things, especially in our hockey hobby. This one's one of them. This isn't we're not trying to break a story here that no one knows about. We're not a news station. We're guys that like to talk about things. Anyway, so that I've heard that a few times. I walked into an old LCS a little further out, and that was one of their main things was like, Phil, how did you not know that? I'm like, now it's a peeing contest, right? Now it's a peeing contest. When that misses the whole message. And I also heard it somewhere else too, our best friends there. And that's my message to them is we will always keep talking about the things that affect the collector, especially first and foremost, and the buyers and the flippers. And we all need to live in a cohesive little garden here. So we should keep talking about this. This is a big one. Hey, what did that comment say to me like 6 months ago? Phil, you can do better. Can I say that to eBay? eBay can do better on this, right? Sure. They can do better on this. They have the power to, and I think they will. Maybe they just don't know that we're frustrated and this is silly. That could be a possibility. They don't listen to our podcast, I guess. I don't know. Maybe they just don't know. Maybe we could get someone from eBay on here and they could explain and we'd be like, oh, that's why you do it that way. Probably not, but that could be a possibility, right?
I think that was very well said.
Thanks,
and
John.
I appreciate that. And I think I could add two things in one. One will be like a personal perspective. But the first is our show, if anyone hasn't noticed, is we are targeting the whole spectrum of collectors. So people that are in the hobby for the very first day to hopefully people that have done this 30 years find some value in it too. Right. I'll give you an example. Like we talked about, well, on our top 5 sales video this week, we had the Fleming Mackle 1953 Parkhurst $18,500 sale. I had somebody who tell me today that's incredible. He knows way more about the hobby than I will ever know. Say, I never knew about that card.
Yeah,
and he said, I thought I knew everything about the 1950s set. But honestly, though, this show isn't a highbrow hobby talk show of people that have done this for 30 years and want to talk about the stuff people like that do, right? This is not, I think, our wheelhouse, and we want to bring more people into the hobby and provide if this is something, because there's a huge learning curve, and to provide our good buddy California Dave, who's like helping you out on your show. He was on Top Shelf Cookie Snipers podcast. I listened to that today. And one of the things that he said is that before we even knew him, and kind of how we got to know him, is when he started getting into hockey. He talked about like when he started buying hockey cards, and Dave's a very smart guy, very successful guy. He bought, just on a whim, because he hadn't collected since a kid, a tin at Target or something like that. And his frame of reference was collecting hockey cards like you did in the 80s. So he was going through the tin and saw like a Crosby base card and thought that was the card and didn't know about inserts. And then Chandler, his nephew, said, well, you have Young Guns, those like the base cards. And so, he was kind of at ground zero. And then he talked about like what our show did for him was it helped him actually learn about the hobby and learn a little bit of what to do, what not to do, sometimes what not to do from this show. And that helped him, maybe helped him turn out to love this a little bit. And that's like the biggest compliment I could ever get.
100%.
I think
that's why we do it. That's why we do it. I don't care. What do I say to you boys? As long as there's 50 people watching, I'll always do a thing. I don't care. 50 people's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. I've been doing this my whole life, just having fun by myself. Now I have friends. It's great.
Right? And then my personal, and this is my personal opinion, and anyone can agree or disagree with it, but I hate I live my life. I hate the concept of expertise. I don't ever want to be called an expert in anything. And because I appreciate learning, right? And that's why, our show is hard to make because we do tons of research, right? And to me, the research is fun. I like to learn. And so to say to me, I can't believe you didn't know that. I don't even know how to process that in a way. And it certainly doesn't offend me.
No, it's
Because
weird. It's an odd
I
thing.
just learned something. And yeah, I believe, the one thing I believe is the minute that you decide that you're an expert in something, then you shut off what the learning valve and you
Mhm.
stop growing.
Yeah.
And I could do this for 40 more years all day, every day. And I would shudder at the idea of being called an expert. And I don't ever want to be an expert because I never want to stop learning and I never want to stop growing. So anyone can chirp at us all they want about
Mhm.
us not knowing something. And I take it more as a compliment.
But it's such a swing
And
and a miss on the whole thing. We weren't saying like it. It doesn't. It's a paradox thought. It doesn't make like, how did you not? Did we say we found something new that we didn't know? It's
yeah.
just a frustrating and
Well, I think to some people though that's their that's
their value. That's their
yeah,
value.
their personal value comes from what they think they know, and
Yeah.
that puts them at a place of superiority over other people.
As I get
And
older,
I'm just
I
not wired
find
that way.
yeah, but being male, I find every year that's coming into frame more and more. Like the older I get with my peers, we'll say 5 years younger, 5 years older. That to me is becoming like nothing to do with hockey. I'm just talking to my buddies here. Meeting other men who are similar to my age and a little bit older or a little bit younger, it surprises me when that. I guess as we get older, we're losing value. Like if we don't like our families or we've made bad choices, so then we have to latch on to something that gives us prominence in our
Mm.
life. Maybe
Is
I don't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to get
no.
philosophical there, but I
But is
find it
that
fascinating. It
is
confuses.
that starting to feel more normal for you? Feeling
Mhm.
like a man?
I'm pretty manly.
Oh.
I'm not questioning my masculinity or anything. Yeah, I'll shave my legs too if you want me to. I'm okay with that.
On
Uh-huh.
OnlyFans or what?
Yeah. Only in Europe though. VPN only, bro.
Only bro.
Anyways, let's
Yeah.
go.
So
Yeah,
again, we're always gonna, and I'm like the Panini thing, right? That we did the Panini deep dive.
Oh, got roasted on some people. Yeah, I didn't bring it up then, but yeah.
Well,
How did
I
you?
I had no clue that the Prism cards were in a special bonus pack. Learned that yesterday or today, right?
You're so
I
dumb.
mean, I just never knew it, right? So it's like big deal. Yeah, it's
I
funny to me that people put
yeah.
so much self-worth
Mhm.
into what their perceived knowledge is, because really anyone can learn anything. I mean, nothing about this hobby is rocket science. You don't have to be 140 IQ to understand this hobby. You just have to dedicate the time to it. And so what somebody's saying is, I've spent more time than you have, and it's like, okay, well, great, congratulations, I'm happy.
Yeah, it's not a flex. I don't know, but it is a very common flex in a lot of people, and that's it's sad. I don't know. I can't relate. I value on being naive and kind of dumb sometimes, and if it's a category I am good at, then I'll speak up. Yeah,
Well, and
remembering
actually,
years of hockey cards is not one of them. Okay. Yeah.
when Troy and I started this show, this whole thing was very intentional. I mean, not much was planned, but part of the reason maybe why I never want to be an expert in anything is there's a lot of pressure,
Yeah.
right? And when you value when your esteem comes from that, well, then there's always the fear of, well, what if somebody knows more than me?
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Or what if I don't know something? Am I not living up to the persona that I've created, that I'm the
Oh,
all-knowing hobby guru or whatever it is? So
anxiety
it's
everywhere,
actually,
bro.
life is a lot easier being dumb,
Yeah.
and just being like, oh, I learned something new today.
Yeah, not the Dunning-Kruger effect. That's a little too far, right? You're the
Mhm.
dumbest person in the room, but you don't know, and you're having a great time. I value those people. I envy them sometimes. Sometimes I look at my dog and I'm like, must be simple being simple.
Do we tell him, Louis, or just?
Hey, come on. You bunch
All
of
right.
jerks.
Well, I really appreciate people's feedback, and honestly, it's part of that learning, right? Was that
Yeah.
when we throw out topics and we hear back from people, that helps us learn and continue to evolve our opinion and knowledge on things. And so, for everyone that took the time to chime in from the bottom of my heart, thank you for doing that. Personal pickups.
Oh,
Mhm.
Nothing.
Nothing.
oh, I got my. Sorry, I didn't send you a picture. I'm sorry. I got my high gloss.
Hmm.
That's it. I'm
Nice.
sorry, Louis. I didn't send a picture. Yeah.
That's all right. This is
That's
what I
it.
put up for you.
What'd you put up?
Blank screen.
Oh, sneaky, sneaky.
So, are you?
Mhm.
Do you like it? Are you digging it when you see it in
I'm
hand?
digging it. Yeah. I my post was very honest. I said I've come around on these renewed. I think I figured out I just don't like certain ones and I like other ones.
Mhm.
You know, like the Carlson one I didn't like for some reason. So I assumed I would just not like all the Ottawa Senators. But then when I saw the Brady one, I'm like, oh my God, that looks good. You know, so
Would either of you guys ever commission a guy like Luke to do 101 unique for you,
no, I don't like his style that much.
or any other artist? Like,
Oh,
could you see
yes.
yourself
Yes. Yeah. Like Frank Casetta. Yeah. I want to look like Conan.
Frank Costanza?
No. Well, now we're talking. Yeah. You traded Jay Buna for a third baseman.
What about you, Louis? Could you like pay an artist to do a 101, like, I don't know, Madonna in a Devil's uniform card for you or something like that?
No,
Okay. What were your pickups?
no, not my cup of tea. Well, I grabbed two kind of the same. They're both 01, 02 Vanguard premiere dates. It's a Brodeur and a Madonna out of 83. And then I picked up a 23-24 O-Pee-Chee Platinum Seismic Gold Nico Heischer.
So much better than the dull gold that was in 2022.
Oh, so much better.
Yeah, that's looking good.
2018, 2019 is the best. Yeah, is the second best year though, and then 2015, 2016 is the best year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Louis and I were vibing on Pacific Vanguard.
It must have been. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Oh my
My
goodness.
pickup was Pavel Bure, the blue parallel out of 89. Love these cards. Just got my Iserman in hand, and they're way better in hand than poopy ComC scans. But
You got an Iserman?
yeah.
Stevie Y.
Oh, cool.
All right. We did it. Good job, boys.
Good job.
Done.
If you liked the episode, please leave a rating, review on Apple, Spotify, whatever podcast type you listen to us on. You love the show. You want to support us. You want to chat with us every day in the Hockey Cards Gongshow Discord server. Please consider $5 US donation. Join out at $2.99 support level tier on Patreon. Link is in the show description. In both YouTube and the podcast apps, our Instagram and TikTok profiles, on our website, hockeycardsgongshow.com. There's a become a patron link, or just go to Patreon directly, patreon.com, and search for Hockey Cards Gong Show. We are on social media. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. And boys, the Hockey Cards Gong Show podcast is a production of Dogbox Ventures LLC. Have an amazing finish to your week. Have an awesome weekend. Enjoy your spring, and we'll see you back on Monday. Louis, take us away.
Bye.
Yo, it's the Gong Show. We're dropping the facts. Hockey cards on fire. No holding us back. Josh looking sharp, the face of the scene. Feeling pork chop pants, rocking it clean. Baba Louie in the booth, he's the man with the plan. The best producer in all the land. Gong Show Nation, let's hit the flow. It's the Hockey Cards Gong Show. Let's go, let's go.